Could that be part of the
No,
solution?
that has nothing to do with it. It doesn't have anything to do with
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
The battery life is fine. I think I just needed to take it to a computer person, and they just need to fix some things on it. Is really what I need to do.
Who's your number one computer person, Matt? Is it someone close to you?
Probably Prudon. Probably Chris Prudon.
I'll tell you who it's not. I'll tell you who it's not.
It's
not
you.
It's not Nick.
Oh, okay. Not
because we
Nick.
didn't have audio for the first 2 minutes of this
leave
segment
Nick
on the
alone.
video.
He was working hard. It's the first crossover in two destinations in the new studio. It almost went flawlessly.
Second. I'll tell you who definitely it is. An ESPN baseball reporter, Jesse Rogers.
Why? What did he do? Did he tweet an adult link?
For anybody who might make fun of John for not getting into the stream on time or maybe not using technology the most efficiently.
Falling for an AI bit yesterday.
Not knowing how the Big 12 and Monster Agreement works.
Yes, all of those things.
Whoa. I know how the Monster Agreement works.
I know you know, John.
I know.
There are some people who don't.
No, that's true.
There are some people who just refuse
I
to
would never order their auto parts, that's for sure.
But I'll say this, that Jesse Rogers of ESPN was so bad at using technology that he has made me he's hardened me to help anybody at this point and honestly numb to anybody being bad at technology. It was so bad where it's like he liked me and still likes me a lot because I was the one who would help him do everything.
Matt,
it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Matt, in your own home, are you the technology expert because you are of youth? Oh, so you're not plugging in and out the internet whenever your internet goes out at home?
So part of the reason why I was able to help Jesse so much was because my dad is clueless, and so I became tech support at times for him.
Yeah.
And my dad would have the same problems on Outlook that Jesse Rogers would have. So Jesse would say the same things that my dad was like, what are those buttons in the top right corner? I'd be like, click on them and go to this and go to there. And it'd figure it out. So no, I was fluent enough to help my dad, but my mom's a teacher. And so my mom always had to keep up with technology, with the smart boards and the laptops and computers and different devices in order to teach her kids. So she's my mom is very good with technology. She often fixes a lot of things for us.
You know what?
Very impressive.
I know Matt's afraid to say this, so I'll stand out, and I'll say it right here on 1620 The Zone. I think teachers should be paid more. Let's get them some more money. Wow. They have to do a lot of different things, learn a lot of different skills, and I know Matt doesn't want this to happen, especially for his mother, but I will stand up and say they do a lot for our youth. They're always adjusting and always learning more. Good on our teachers. Let's pay them a little bit more.
Are you running for office or something?
I'm not, no.
Oh, okay. Because that sounds like someone running for office.
We should pay our teachers.
Those football players get paid too much. We need to pay the teachers more.
What about this Big 12 Monster Energy? How about Monster Energy for our teachers? Give them a patch.
Teachers should get Monster Energy drink.
That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen happen on the crossover.
Hold on.
Somehow Austin wanted to run a mayoral campaign out of nowhere off of the backs of teachers.
I've done.
Wait a second. This
incredible.
I think we just solved all of our public schools budget problems. We get corporate sponsors and patches for the teachers.
That's right. JP Morgan Chase. Forget about Ohio State. You're now funding OPS. Congratulations.
So every teacher will get a patch with the OPS logo and then the monster, M thing.
That's right.
Oozing over the top of it.
Instead of Fox wooing, the college football playoff committee to add 12 more teams so they can get more playoff games to broadcast, they should just start broadcasting teachers teaching at OPS. That's what I think they should do.
Do you think Trey Taylor's new watch company would put a little logo patch on the Millard South jerseys for the upcoming fall? That could be something.
I have no idea.
He has a watch company?
You haven't seen this?
No.
He's sponsored by a watch company that sells watches from $6,000 to $36,000.
You know who listened to Odd
Which
News
company?
today? Not John and Nick.
You know who did? Do you know who did?
Which company?
I don't know, Nick. The Jet Watch Company, something like that. I don't know.
That's
Table
not the
Set
name
Watch
of it.
Company.
It was
I don't know, Paul
words.
Newman Watch Company. I have no idea.
Paul Newman would make an immaculate time.
The Paul Newman Watch Company, the guy who makes sauces.
It comes with a free dressing.
That'd be great.
I'm going to tell you right now, if he can make watches as good as he does vinaigrette, Paul Newman can solve a lot of problems in the timepiece community.
So explain to me and to the good folks at home, what is this again?
So
the watches,
Trey
yes.
Taylor is
Derby?
the Millard South quarterback.
I know who Trey Taylor is. I am aware who Trey Taylor is.
He was
I'm talking
formerly
about
of
the
Carmel,
watches.
Illinois.
Derby
He
watch
played,
supply.
I'm talking about the watches. Trust me, I know who Trey Taylor is.
He was recruited by E.J. Barthel to play quarterback at Nebraska. He's since committed and moved to Nebraska. He's now going to play for Taylor Mendenhall.
Yada, yada,
at,
yada.
Millard
He has a
South.
watch deal.
Oh, it's not okay.
He has a watch deal.
It's a pre-owned luxury watch dealer. It's like a gray market. It's like a used dealership
Oh,
for
this
watches.
is like CarMax for watches.
Kinda,
That
yeah.
rocks.
It's WatchMax.
That I
rocks.
didn't know.
Ooh, are we watch maxing these days? How's your watch doing?
Oh
My
no,
watch
I'm
is
gonna get
fine.
watch mogged.
Get watch maxed.
I got a
We're-
Seiko
no
for
watch
my wedding.
boys.
It's a good watch.
Matt,
No
how are you
watch
supposed to
boys.
find out how many steps you get in a day with no watch on?
Have you seen my stomach recently? I ain't counting my steps.
That's good. Too much Paul
We're
Newman
golfing
sauce.
today.
I am golfing today. I'm a part of the Tiburon Championship Tour Golf Scramble for the Ages Extravaganza Palooza.
Ooh, isn't Tiburon
That's
the generic name of the Madden like franchises you would make if you
Yes.
do create a franchise?
Well, do you know what Tiburon is? Do you know what that word is?
No.
Tiburon?
I am not familiar.
It's shark in Spanish. Tiburon.
Oh,
That's why the
cool.
logo was always a shark.
That's
that
why they
makes
have
sense.
Mako,
Wow.
Hammerhead, and Great White. That's why those are his courses.
I'm surprised Greg
Tiburon.
Norman didn't have that copyrighted.
Yeah, Tiburon.
Then-
Tiburon is how you say Tiburon.
Then why did
Tiburon.
they? Why did they name a
Tiburon.
golf course in Omaha, Nebraska, Shark? We don't
Good
have a lot of
question.
those here.
Why do we have a city
But
called
doesn't
Grand
it,
Island?
But doesn't Nick? You are so bad at marketing. Doesn't Tiburon sound sick?
You're bad
Yeah,
at
I played
speaking, Matt.
Tiburon. You know, well, thank God I got a radio show. Good God, Tiburon. You know, Tiburon. Like that sounds great. Why
Yeah,
are you
but
doing
You
time?
gotta go to the righty. You're gassed.
I'm kind of, dude. It's 80 degrees.
lost
here.
a little velo.
I'm like Randy Johnson on the San Francisco Giants right now. Just
I
throwing-
forgot about that.
I know a lot of people do. I was barely born for that.
Matt, has there been
But
any talk today about a 999 challenge? Has that been brought up when your
Oh,
return to
yeah.
work?
Do you
This is
feel
the first
shame?
time back since that infamous
Are you
moment.
having PTSD? Are you going through like the New York Giants
yeah,
like locker
We
room
had
talk?
one dog.
So we had one specialty dog, and the bread is the same from that dog to the hot dog. So when I picked up the bread, I did kind of feel a certain way. I did revisit my old stomping grounds and actually did take a pee in the urinal I puked in. So just kind of remarked my territory. Saw my old friend Leonard the urinal, and then
Leonard
the urinal.
Did you
Hosted
did
the
you dig
show.
through the trash to see if your puked on jersey was still in there?
we are actually right next to the trash can. We
Nice.
actually broadcasted.
It kind of
We're
looks
right
like you
there.
are, yeah.
So did you go up to the individual storm chasers and Warner Park employees that had to clean up after all the messes you made and say, I want to shake your hand. Thank you for your
I want to
service.
shake your hand. No, I did not. I did not say I want to shake your hand. Wow, the microphone volume is up to 11 right now. Goodness, it is.
It's
It is
raining money
loud.
thanks to Centris
It is-
Federal
oh,
Credit
yeah,
Union.
I know, but it is booming here for the couple hundred people.
I want you to hear about it.
Clearly, I'm hearing a lot of things here. This guy's. Oh, that was a bad toss. These guys who are doing the slingshot right now, they were not like a young Matt McMaster who was bird hunting back in Skokie, Illinois. They do not know how to work a slingshot.
Could they kill two birds with
guys-
one stone?
I could kill 3 birds with 4 stones. That's how good
Wait a second.
I
I thought you didn't bird watch.
That's interesting.
got. No. I bird hunt. There's a difference.
Oh.
That was very loud.
You got to watch the birds to hunt
Very,
them.
very loud.
They call that a
No, I'm
bunt in
back-
Chicago.
I'm actually nice. I'm actually 2 tables away from the table I ate all of the hot dog. Well, the 3 hot dogs at.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
all
of the
three
hot
of them.
dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, all
In
of
other
them. I
words,
ate all of them
lunch.
at one
You
table.
only
For
finished-
most people, lunch.
You only finished eating 3.
3. Yeah, me
yeah,
not
but did you
finishing.
actually get through
then-
3? I don't think you got through 3. Wasn't it like
Yeah.
2.5?
You know what? I wasn't here for those crossovers. Can we just rehash this whole thing? I really would like to learn more about it.
Oh, we spent a lot of time on it when it was here.
We did. You can go back and
I'm-
listen to the crossover
I'm
from
pretty
that
sure. I'm
Monday.
pretty sure my failure was just gave everybody content for Monday. I'm pretty sure I was about 4 hours worth of throw up content on Monday. Through
Give
both
us a
shows.
click.
Oh,
I even got mentioned on the Locked On Nebraska podcast.
Whoa.
That's how That's how wide-ranging my 999 defeat was.
And Matt, that's your
You should all
favorite
be so
podcast.
lucky.
You listen every time that episode drops.
It's an auto download in his settings.
Sorry, I just burped.
There's a interesting comment in the chat from JT said, Matt said not on my bingo card today.
Did you say that?
Yeah, apparently I did. I didn't. That wasn't on my bingo card. Me saying that.
That'll show them.
Yeah.
You can have your cake and eat it too.
Are you against that phrase?
I hate that phrase.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because who's carrying a bingo card?
He said it didn't make any sense and
Okay.
then proceeded to use it.
Hey, you can do the impressions of me all you want, but I ain't a pirate. All right. I mean, it's.
I
I'd
was doing an
appreciate it if
impression of
actually
you
put in a
doing an
good
impression of
attempt.
John Bishop, Matt. That's all that I was doing.
Matt being defeated by the 999 challenge was a horse crap call.
No, it was just a horse.
One-eyed Pat Driscoll.
It was just horse crap that you chugged those beers so fast.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah,
my
John-
God, I got to get these down quick.
John, why were you so
All right,
concerned
now,
about the
Austin-
chugging part of it? That's what
Because
I was
that's why
asking.
he
right?
failed. That's
He's
why he
obsessed
failed.
with it. It makes no
He
sense.
chugged-
No,
it's
that
not
is-
why I
that is
failed.
why you failed.
It's not
You
why
got
I
sick
failed.
to
I
your
failed
stomach
because I have a
you
small stomach. I have a
do
small
not have a
stomach
small
with
stomach. You
acid
just
reflux.
established you don't.
Full stomach.
But you chugged the beers as if you were in a beer chugging contest
He's got
when
a
you had an
small
entire
stomach,
inning.
Hey, Matt.
weak inner lining McMaster. That's what I call him.
Matt, are
It's
all
funny
Chicagoans known for their small stomachs? Is that something that they walk around and talk about all the time?
Well, they're small people.
Our tiny little tummies. We can't fit any more pizza in here. Put your cake in the shake. Come on, we're from Chicago.
It's funny because anyone around us can only hear Matt's side of the conversation.
That's probably the
And it
worst.
just
side
sounds
to
like the
hear.
rantings of a crazy person.
Hey, you know what? If
That's what
somebody
it's
were to
like
just
every
take-
day from 10 to 2
If-
here on
If
1620 The Zone.
somebody were to just take a video of me hosting radio, but it was just silent, it would look like just somebody who's got schizophrenia just going crazy just in front of a microphone.
Because we're at a very large table and we're sitting very close to each other.
Nice.
Yes, we
fit
can
into the
tell.
frame
Well,
here.
If
It's-
only
it's-
Matt had charged his computer last night, then he would be able to
it's
use
not,
it.
it
It's
wasn't
not a
about the
charge issue.
charging and it wasn't about the chugging. Okay. No, I will point. I will
Oh.
point whenever I want. All right.
Not about the charging.
Look at this guy.
Not about the charging.
There it is.
Not about it. It wasn't about the charging. It wasn't.
You're
about
making
that.
your producer
Senior
very
bingo
uncomfortable
days.
as close
Yeah.
as you are to him right now.
I'll stand back.
How
From
does he
impression
smell,
was like,
Josh? Does he
Stand all
smell
the way
good?
back there, please. That's awesome. Yep,
Yeah.
get those hands moving. Hey, let's get Matt moving in the back, please,
He's-
if we could.
He's
Matt
still
McMoving.
You're still in range though, of being hit by the backsplash on the throw up.
That
so
is true.
Be careful.
A
You're
little
like,
bit. Yeah.
You're like Leonard the urinal back there, just waiting to get hit.
I'm actually blocking the view of people over here. I have.
Ugh.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over that. Leonard, the urinal?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I just wanted to throw in a joke. You know?
Lenny?
Is
You don't
that
name
from
things?
Riley Leonard, the former Notre Dame quarterback?
He's
Oh.
a former Duke quarterback, Austin Jacobson.
He sucks. His own mom says that to him before every game.
Now, let's
Wow.
break it down. Usually when people name inanimate objects, it's usually after a woman, right?
Yes.
Boats, ships,
Sure.
cars, all named
yeah,
after women.
Well,
Yeah.
Leonard could be a woman.
Could it?
You tell me.
How
Maybe
many
you're the
women named
woke one.
Leonard do you
Aren't
know,
you the
Austin?
woke one on the show?
How many women named Leonard do
Yeah.
you know?
Listen, I'm
Austin?
from the Panhandle. Notably, not many women out there. So, I don't know
And
many women
definitely
named
not
Leonard.
many women named Leonard.
I
The
tell you that.
Panhandle is all men.
That is true.
It's a family name.
Well, my buddy's currently going out with a woman named Ryan Smith, which was kind of very interesting.
The
Ryan
Ohio
has
State
come
coach?
around to
Yeah,
be
Ryan's a female
unisex
name.
name.
Yeah, it's a female
Ryan's
name.
a solid unisex name. It is.
So I have roommate Dan is in a plant stage right now.
Good luck with
Oh,
that.
what does
Dan.
that mean?
He's buying plants. That's what that means.
Oh,
He's
okay.
buying plants and
Is he
taking
smoking
care
them?
Of his plants. No, he's not
Marijuana
smoking them,
joke.
not these plants.
Okay.
He's bought 6 plants, guys, and he's just putting them on our windowsill. And I just show up one day, and there's more plants, so I've named them all. And to Nick's credit, all 6 of the plants are female names at this point. We have Lisa, Jackie, Margaret, and then I still have to name the 3 other ones. I haven't gotten there.
Name one Ryan.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, maybe. But say it's a girl's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, this is my girl plant, Ryan.
It's Ryan with a, I don't know, I.
Ooh, Ryan.
Yeah.
RYANE. How about that?
That's just rain, isn't it?
No.
Rain.
My wife is really big
Rayanne?
on plants. She's
Rayanne?
stopped buying plants for now, but every time we go somewhere where they have plants on sale, she spends a little too long there, longer than I'm comfortable with. I have one plant and I've kept it alive, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, Dr. Fiance has killed multiple plants. I'm the one that keeps them alive. So
Paige is great at
it's been
plants.
tough.
Paige is so good at plants.
Yeah, we're not very good at plants at our house.
We're good with dogs, not good with plants.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you're going to be good at something, at least keep the dogs alive.
That is true.
Plants,
yeah.
Not so much. We have farmers for that.
I think our dog likes me, but I'm not sure most of the time. I know the plants like me. I know because I'm the only thing keeping them from the grave.
So the plant I have, I don't remember what it's called, but I got it for my grandpa's funeral. And it's a really easy plant because when it needs water, it gets all droopy and sad. You just give it some water and then it's fine. It's awesome.
Droopy and sad.
It tells you when it's thirsty.
Yeah,
I'm like, there you go. Have some water.
Droopy and sad, much like Matt McMaster's Friday night.
Are we done with plant talk?
Are we done with plant talk?
You're the one who started plant talk.
You wanted to talk plants.
You
We're
did.
talking
Oh,
plant with you.
We're so talking about phases. That was the theme. Your room, people go through phases.
It might
I
not
wasn't
be a
necessarily-
phase.
What phase
I
are you
wasn't
in then,
trying-
Matt? Hitting on barista phase?
Naming toilets after men.
Kinda.
Do you show them your new shoes? Hey, barista, look at these
The
chucks.
toilets? She asked to look at the shoes.
Uh-huh. Sure.
At least women.
Yeah, whatever came of that?
What do you mean came of that? Nothing came of that. What came was the check. That's what came.
Boom.
And then it was
Good
a
one,
tip
Matt.
After that. Nothing came. Nothing came that night.
Okay. All right.
I've gathered.
All right.
That's too far.
You
Wow.
stop.
We're getting a little too
That's
close
nasty.
to the edge here.
That's
We're
Oh,
gonna
nasty.
I'm
see
sorry.
the
You
cliff.
talk about plants for 5 minutes, and it's okay where you're falling asleep. And I say one innocuous joke. All of a sudden, the crossover's doomed.
Well, because
Now,
plants aren't
you're
as
looking at me
explicit as
right
what
now.
you
Yeah, again,
said.
Yeah.
Matt, you
Plants are
definitely
different.
look schizophrenic. That's been our whole
Uh-huh.
goal is we're trying to make sure that people at Warner Park are very attuned to 1620 The Zone right now. Pull out your phones, take a video.
How much
make it
happier?
vertical.
How much happier are you? I mean, like you said, this is our first remote since we got to the new studio, so we're working out all the technology. How much happier are you there as the first remote at a ballpark, and you're not at Big Ten Media Days?
Ooh.
This is the better locale.
Yeah, sure.
It's 100% less PJ Fleck, that's for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
No one has talked about JFK here at Warner Park.
No, they have not.
Wow.
Not that we know of, anyway.
Mm.
And if they have, they've kept it to themselves.
That's
I
good
wonder
to
how
know.
often JFK comes up in conversation with everybody at any given point in the world.
I think
I
about
wonder how
JFK
often-
every day. He's my Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What about JFK do you think about every day?
Well, first and foremost, how Catholic he was. That was great.
How
Good
Catholic
good
he
for me.
was.
Good for the brand.
Here he goes.
He was quite
here,
Catholic.
Here goes Austin running for mayor for the second time
Yeah,
today.
wasn't that a
Okay,
big
what-
controversy back in the 60s?
Oh, it
He's
was
Yes,
Catholic.
100%.
It was
Oh my
very
God,
big.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. It was bad to be Catholic. People forget we had it bad back in the day. Not so much anymore.
Nobody's been persecuted
Do-
most
do
than the
people-
Catholics.
You're right.
Do people forget
You're right, Nick.
the
Thank you.
struggles Catholics went through? Is that what you're saying? It's completely escaped our mind the struggles Catholics have gone through.
Listen, when you go through a dynasty
If
phase,
only there was.
like the Catholics did with the Crusades and such. I mean, we had a good run there, but then, everyone falls on hard times. Nebraska's going through it right now. Texas had a long run. The Catholics had theirs. And, maybe they're on their way back. You never know. Anything could happen. Our time for a CFP bid is on its way. We're coming back.
It's just Notre Dame.
I read
Well,
a
you missed it
tweet
last
that-
year because Miami passed you at the last
Dang it.
second.
How dare they?
I read a tweet that in Oklahoma City, there's a large contingent of Catholics that might interest people here locally.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Okay. I've heard
This thing
I've heard
steered
many
off the rails.
I've heard many comparisons to Nebraska football, like Indiana basketball. I've never heard, just Catholicism, Nebraska football, handshake meme. I mean, Peter was basically Grant Wistrom. I mean, those guys were one-to-one comparisons.
Oh, I don't think that comparison's ever been made, Matt. I can be honest right there.
It just did.
That's
That
the
is good.
comparison you
Matt
were
is
making.
one of one. That's a first time ever take.
So this is now the second time ever that Nebraska football and Catholicism have intersected. Of course, Bob Devaney famously said the Pope wouldn't even vote the Irish number one.
That is true.
Back in the day, but that's the last time.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to Josh Hodson because I've spit all over him today with my words. I've had a lot of
What is it with
parcels
you
that
and
come
just
out of my mouth.
projectiling your bodily fluids at things at this
Everywhere.
ballpark?
Good question.
This is,
I've-
this is a
not all of them.
bad karma for you.
You know what? You get away with that one, but I can't get
I
away
didn't
with
say the
mine.
word.
Yours-
Okay, but it
his was
doesn't
not as
matter.
direct, Matt. His was
True.
not as direct.
You
He's
gotta
a
be
little
You know
subtle.
more
what? I
veteran.
like being direct. I like being right in your face about it. You know?
Well, and maybe that's
Obviously, that's why poor Josh has to clean off his sunglasses after this episode.
why and that's why the barista won't call you back, Matt, because you're too direct.
No, but the bartender did. So
That's very
it was
nice.
Okay.
Wait, a bartender
Yeah.
called you back?
Was his name Leonard?
Yeah.
Was that just because you left your
Attaboy.
wallet behind?
Boy.
Leonard
No,
the
I left my
bartender.
ID behind this time.
Oh,
Hmm.
of course.
He said, "Call me. Here's my number and my social
Here's my
security."
number.
What's
That's
the
a
ratio
good,
of
that's a good way to
you
play it?
Yeah.
forgetting things to not forgetting things when you go somewhere?
First off, I want to make it clear I did not forget my ID at the bar.
I
the
just had to
last
go
time
back
that I
for
went.
it.
Remember when you stole my ID at the bar?
Oh no, I did not steal your ID.
You did.
That's not what happened.
And then you
Address the
tried to go
allegation.
home
I
and steal
had-
my wife. It was crazy. A twofer.
Whoa. These are just false accusations that you are making. I did not try to steal your fiance, by the way. You're not married yet.
Okay.
Just want to put that out there. Okay. Secondly,
Are you
I did
leaving
not
like the
steal
door
your
open
ID.
for yourself? Is that why you're saying that?
I don't know. Maybe I'll object at the wedding. I'll be like, Austin's got bad takes.
Wow.
This is bad. He shouldn't be married.
Thank you. Yeah,
Good bit.
that'll convince her for sure.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Don't marry
His
him,
sports
marry
takes
me.
aren't good enough for you. Have you seen Austin Jacobson pay for PFF before? No, you haven't. I will. I'll treat you right.
Marry me.
That's what
I'm a
I'll say.
madman. I took the Seahawks in December. I put a future on them.
Yes, yes. I should just, you know what? That's how I'm
Look
gonna
at my
lure your fiancé
shoes.
away from you. I'm going to show her all my winning tickets from Horseshoe. This is going to come up and be like, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. I'm
If
putting
there's-
it all on the table.
She's
If
a
there's-
doctor. Those $5 tickets aren't going to impress her.
They're $15 tickets. Josh, and whose team are you on?
If there's
Bang.
one thing women find attractive, it's all your betting slips.
Yeah, on the ponies,
Yes, it
no
is.
less.
See, that's the one thing where it's like, you know, if I ever have a girlfriend, I'll refer her to go and sign up for all the sports books so I can get bonus bets.
Mm,
And then when she tells me that she's already done all of them, I'll go, oh no, somebody cooked here.
wow.
You know?
What a fun activity you can do as a couple. That's very unique.
Yeah, very unique. Very unique. Nobody's done that before. Mustache Adam goes, line the door of the reception with 9 beers and 9 hot dogs. Matt can't cross that.
Bang.
You
We-
shall
we-
not pass.
you know what?
We could have an old
So-
medieval challenge for her hand in marriage. How about that, Matt?
How about we try and string a bow and we shoot that arrow through 11 different axes? There you go. How about, by the way, if I do the 999 challenge again and then I complete it, I get an invite to Austin's wedding. How about that? How about we put some stakes to it next time I do a 999?
I'll talk to the doctor. She's in charge, so we'll see what she thinks.
So you just have to do the challenge? It's not about
No.
accomplishing anything. You just have to do it and you get invited?
Dang it, John. Don't read the fine print.
Well, I was just
Why'd you
asking the
read-
question.
Why'd you read the fine print, John?
I wasn't
Yeah,
reading the
said
fine
just
print.
had
I
to
was
do
merely
it.
trying to qualify what was at stake here.
Be careful,
I
Austin.
was trying to qualify what's at stake.
Matt gets really upset if he's not invited to a wedding.
Oh no, Matt. Oh,
He'll hold it over you
I
forever.
mean-
Matt, name 2 weddings you haven't been invited to.
Nick Grimm's and Paige Tretna's.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Austin Jacobson's, but that's
Oh.
fine too.
Oh, were the invites already
Ooh.
sent out?
No,
Dang.
But you didn't make the cut. Sorry.
it's too soon to tell. Who knows? Anything's possible.
Well, are you Kornacki right now in Florida? It's too close to call.
It
or
is.
Too
It's,
early?
it's way
Farron.
too close to
No,
call.
that's a Farronism
That
right
is a
there. It's too
Farronism.
soon to tell.
Too soon to tell.
Well,
It's September, Mike. What do you mean it's too soon?
so how are our chasers doing right now?
They
I have no
literally
idea.
just tied the game at 1.
Bang.
We're in the bottom of the 5th.
Let's
This
go.
game's kind of flown by.
Wow, good thing
This
you're not
would not have
chugging
been a
beers
good-
at this one.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Very good point. I'm hot.
Well,
Hot.
you know what? We'll let you get into the coolness of the indoors, and we'll commence with our own Grum coming up next. How's that sound? How's that
That
grab
sounds great, guys.
Have a good grum.
Hey,
you? We'll do
Matt
our
and
level
Josh.
best.
have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for being here.
This crossover is like 5.3 if I had to rate.
Oh.
5.3.
I thought Nick and I made some great jokes.
Yeah, I had
No, but
fun.
then
Yeah,
you
we
guys
had some
talked about
solid ones.
plants for 6 minutes. you
It
know?
was not 6 minutes of plant talk.
I wonder who got us on the plant topic.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah, I
who
don't-
originally brought
Interesting.
up the plant stuff.
Good
I don't care
question.
about your pine, Austin.
1620 the plant. Matt McMaster.
No, I'm pretty sure that's still a lefty. If you know, you know.
All right. Well, have
Okay,
a
bye,
good
guys.
one. We'll see you. That is the crossover. When we come back, it's a Dumb Debates Day on the Grum and an exciting day at Big Ten Media Days. Can't you tell? It's been great. 1620 the zone.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. What do we got planned today?
Fun, shenanigans, activities, and discussions.
Frivolity.
And shopping.
Nice.
Shopping.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
I hope that everyone has had a good day so far, and I hope that your day continues to be good if it's going well, or if it hasn't been going well, that it turns and starts going in a better direction for you.
Wow.
Either way, I hope that your ship is sailing in the right direction with the wind at your back.
That's right, with a P, Nick, with a P. You don't have to dump that audio.
Ship.
It's a ship.
Yes.
Like an old wooden ship.
That's right.
And friends,
that's the word.
it's not often we get to open a grum with not only a sports flash,
Uh-oh.
but I would dare say for some of you, it will be received as a positive sports flash.
Wow.
Sports Flash.
Time for an unsportsmanlike conduct sports flash update
Sports Flash.
from the Sports Flash Sports Desk. From friend of the program, Mitch Sherman of The Athletic and the Locked On Nebraska podcast.
Hi, Mitch.
He has spoken with Nebraska Athletic Director Troy Dannon.
Oh, really?
Splash.
And they have spoken on a subject that has taken over
Splash.
the college sports sphere this week.
Splash.
And that subject is
Splash.
the idea of having
Splash.
patches on your jerseys. Now, famously, Nebraska lost a patch off of its new jersey,
The good one.
which, by the way,
I mean, it was kind of a lie.
Whoa. Take it back, Hawkeye Nick.
I mean, the winning tradition patch on the Nebraska jersey in 2026.
Listen, they have a winning tradition. It means in the past that they'd won a lot. Nick?
quick aside
Mhm.
before we get to the guts of the story,
The guts.
because this is called drawing it out,
Mm.
the drama. With every passing photograph I see of the new uniforms, it makes me sadder and sadder every time.
I really don't know what your problem with them is. I think they look fine. I don't get it.
They look fine for a startup team, not for Nebraska.
Oh.
They look fine if you had a program that had no tradition and if you were just starting it from scratch. Call it an expansion franchise, if you will. It's one of those things where I keep forgetting they do it until someone shows me a picture. I guarantee you, when we go to the opening game against Ohio, we'll be up there in the stadium. Michael and I will be done with, 16:20 the pregame, and we'll be huffing it over there, fighting the crowds, going up the elevator. We're getting ready to get settled in, get my popcorn, get my diet Mountain Dew, and I'll sit down and go, what the hell? They changed the uniform.
So, okay, just help me understand it, because I don't get why people aren't happy. Your biggest issue is the stripes, right?
The stripes look terrible.
Why does that matter? Why does it matter?
What do you mean, why does it
the
matter?
The stripes are still there. Why does it matter if one is bigger than the other?
What?
Or if it's not even or whatever? Why
no,
does
they're
that
not
matter?
even. They just don't look right. The whole thing, the whole execution doesn't look right. But that's not the point. The point is to get to the content of the Sports Flash.
That's
Yes.
right, the Sports Flash.
Sports
Troy
Flash.
Dannon has told Mitch Sherman that Nebraska will not pursue a uniform sponsor patch for 2026. This, of course, coming off the heels of Ohio State's announcement yesterday that they were getting $17 million from J.P. Morgan Chase, and Notre Dame was getting $18 to $20 million with SoFi. Dannon said, and I'm reading from Mitch's tweet, the school looked into a jersey patch opportunity, but opted to wait until next year when the market could be more lucrative for the school. According to Dannon, money from the jersey patch deals cannot be used as third-party NIL, paid directly from the sponsor to the athletes. It will count against the revenue-sharing cap. Dannon said, quote, this was not really a rush.
Not a rush, but everybody else was on top of it. I'm not saying.
By the way, to finish up real quick, Mitch Sherman writes, the concept will be revisited in a year. Additionally, Nebraska will consider selling a field logo at Memorial Stadium after this season. The stadium name will not be for sale. So in other words, I put a patch on the field.
Yeah.
Or sponsorship logo on the
right
field.
Over the Tom Osborne field sign. Welcome to the Tom Runs a Field.
Tom runs a field. So no jersey patch. So the ugly uniforms won't be uglified even more.
One thing I've learned about listening to the inner tea leaves of what Troy Dannon has to say when he's asked certain questions, I think he's very good at this. He's very good at saying, listen, I have an idea of what's happening around me, and the reason why our decision is being made is because of X, Y, and Z. He doesn't say it directly. One thing that's very interesting just about this is the thought that he thinks that the more lucrative market could be coming later, when we just saw all of the bigger, or maybe even potentially the biggest names in college football make their assignments yesterday, right now, right? So if $20 million is the number for Notre Dame, 19, right? So $19 million for Notre Dame as of yesterday, what will 2027's number be for Notre Dame? If they're stuck into a long-term contract, like a television contract that's not very good,
right,
that can hinder you maybe from doing a different type of deal that's more year to year. And the only problem I could see with this is the longer you wait, the more companies that could get involved with other programs, maybe of your stature or of a certain price point and such, may price themselves out of being your sponsor where you lose out on money entirely. I don't think that that would happen to Nebraska, but it is a possibility and something that it's a gamble nonetheless that they probably may have gotten some interest, but he may be in the right move here to just say, let's sit and wait and see how much more lucrative the opportunity could be in future years.
I mean, it's no different than the shoe contracts, right? You know, Nebraska, signs a new extension with Adidas, and usually these things are 8 to 10 years. And then the next year, or maybe even later that season, another school signs a bigger contract with the same shoe company, and you feel you're always in that money. You're always in that spot where you're chasing, right?
Yeah.
If you want a bigger deal. So I don't know. I read it as the market for Nebraska was not as robust as they had hoped. That's how I'm reading this.
But isn't some money better than no money?
It is unless you make a mistake and because
you're roped into it for too long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most of these sponsors probably, if they're going to do something, they want a long-term deal because both sides want the long-term deal. The company that's sponsoring wants the advertising for X amount of years. The team wants a guarantee on how much money they can have, thus how much money they can put into their budget from a year-to-year basis. So that's why I say, I mean, from that logic, you would say, well, then why can't Nebraska sell it right now? Well, maybe they probably had a number in mind. And they couldn't find a match to meet that number. And so they're just going to say, all right, we'll hold it off till next year. And maybe we'll get a better deal next year.
And also, who knows how, deep into any of these conversations they sort of got, because all that Mitch's tweet, I want to make sure that I read it as he said, Nebraska football will not pursue a financial agreement in 2026 to wear a jersey patch similar to the deals announced on Tuesday. Nebraska AD Troy Dannon said the school looked into a jersey patch opportunity, but opted to wait until next year. I think it is somewhat smart for Nebraska, too, because let's just say in a different universe, maybe they had been working on some sort of deal and they felt really good about, hey, we've got an $8 or $9 million deal on Monday. We feel really good about this. We're going to make an announcement on Thursday. And then all the big names drop how much money they were making on Tuesday.
Oh, sure.
You don't want to lose the perception of stability and what your program brand is worth by this is a literal dollar amount now that is being provided to you, and you don't want to be behind the arms race that becomes. So I'm not saying that happened.
It is an ego thing, certainly.
But it is something that, and again, I'm not suggesting that happened, but it is something that maybe Nebraska did say, like, we think that our brand is going to be worth more at a certain point, and if we're not getting the price that we want, we are going to wait until we get the price because it's better for us all around future investments and albeit.
Correct. So no jersey patch this year. It's also possible that the sponsors just said, oh, you want us to put our patch on that?
That's mean, John. They just removed a patch to add a patch.
And maybe the real reason is, well, we're going to wait until next year when we go back to our regular uniforms because we're getting rid of these new ugly ones.
No, they're waiting for the Halloween alternates, John. Come on, that's when the patch will come.
Oh, anyway, welcome to the Grum. Let's get you a Grum down.
Grum down.
Question for the day. Beyond the wins, what do you need to see to feel like Nebraska's making progress?
I like this
that
question.
You have hope for the future. Because it's so easy to just say, well, if they win 8 games, I'll be satisfied. And that's great. But don't you want to know how it looks? Don't you have an idea in your mind of, because it's very possible. I think it is very possible Nebraska can have a similar or worse record than last year, but still be a better football team.
Yeah.
Because the schedule is the schedule.
I've said that for a while.
So if that is the case, don't you at least want it to look a certain way? And aren't there certain things you want to see to make it feel like, yeah, I know they only won 6 games, or yeah, I know they're stuck on 7 wins right now, but at least it looks like blank. We want you to fill in those blanks. So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to discuss the lamest rivalry in sports. How Rule compares in beating win expectations. This was an interesting graph, more graphs and charts. We got a Husker men's basketball non-conference schedule. And a bit of a follow-up on the story we had for you late in the Grum yesterday regarding, speaking of Nebraska kind of pushing things off until later. They're pushing off the jersey patch. They're also pushing off the basketball receipt.
That's right.
We are going to speak with Maury Hanks, who is the promoter of the Creighton, Iowa non-conference game that's coming up at the Casey Center in Des Moines, coming up in November, which tickets are still available for, by the way. 25 teams today will focus on Bowling Green, Nebraska's second opponent. It is a Dumb Debates Wednesday. You can send us your dumb debates right now. Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Use the hashtag dumb debates. You can email your dumb debates, john@1620thezone.com. It is the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. Answer the phone on the first ring. Also, you got to watch out for the mascots, and it's Big Ten Media Days, day 2. And I am reminded today why I've never enjoyed covering these things.
Oh, the media days?
Yes.
That's just a lot of talk about a lot of nothing.
Well, we can't
figure anything out yet.
I mean, I get why they're necessary, but I also get why they're just, it's just noise to fill the vacuum, right? It's noise to fill the void. I saw this tweet this afternoon from Sam McEwen, who is there for the Omaha World Herald. Minnesota head coach PJ Fleck used NIL dollars as a lesson with his team based on the E pluribus unum found on the dollar bill. Ugh. I read that tweet and I instantly thought, thank God I'm not in Chicago right now listening to this. And PJ Fleck, apparently the crowd was dead, so he was just zipping off one-liners for 10 minutes.
Good for him. Elite.
The last thing I want to do is listen to Philip John Fleck going off on one-liners.
That's right.
I mean, at least you got what you paid for. It was free to get in.
That is true.
Also today, Pat Fitzgerald, he had a pretty good crowd because, he is of Chicago. He went to a noted Big Ten school that happens to be in Chicago.
Good to be back, Pat.
But he's no longer coaching there. His quote today, I wouldn't say I have a chip on my shoulder. I wouldn't say our team has a chip on its shoulder. I would say we have a bag of chips on our shoulders. I'll leave it at that.
Some people go the route of like the boulder, or, we got a big old rock, or we're climbing a cliff. The bag of chips, man, if that works. In East Lansing, I guess it's what's different.
The bag of chips.
What kind of bag of chips do you think's on Michigan State shoulders this season? Like a Frito, a Lay's, a baked Lay's, maybe a Sun chip?
I mean, it's Michigan State. It's probably an off-brand, and it's it's probably those assy salt and vinegar chips,
like a Miss Vicky's or something like that from the sandwich shop.
Yeah, but I don't want to put down Miss Vicky's.
Okay.
I think that's too good for Michigan State. Like a store-bought brand,
Kroger,
like a Kroger.
Give me the Kroger.
Kroger salt and vinegar chips. That's the kind of chips that Michigan State would have.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that of some noteworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Nebraska doesn't go till tomorrow, and so we'll hear from Matt Rule then. But there were a couple of things regarding now ex-Huskers that were addressed today. Oregon, this is Oregon Day. Remember a couple years ago when Oregon got the big inflatable duck and stuck it in the river there in Indianapolis and scared, small children?
Well, then the duck showed up to everybody else's.
They showed up at everyone else's campus.
Yeah.
Well, Oregon's getting more serious now. No gimmicks that I know of today, but Dan Lanning was asked about Dylan Raiola. And a reporter asked if Raiola may be a looming threat to transfer again after being a season backing up Dante Moore. Lanning said, quote, "I think there's always a looming threat, but not with Dylan. Dylan chose Oregon knowing what it's going to look like at Oregon." This is an interesting concept, this idea, and it's easy to paint a lot of college players in this corner now that we have unlimited free agency and you can just transfer willy-nilly wherever you go. We do have to, I think, don't we have to at least give the kids and or their families just a teensy bit of credit to understand what the situation was? I can't imagine Swiss Family Raiola being willing to send young Dylan to Oregon, knowing he was not going to start this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Dante Moore. They knew they were going to have Dante Moore.
Yes.
Dante Moore was a starter last year. Dante Moore is going to be in the Heisman Trophy conversation. Oregon is in the national championship conversation.
Now, remember, at the time, though, he was still debating on whether or not he was going to go to the NFL draft or not.
Sure,
so there was a potential.
But I think, I'm guessing they would have had to be at least somewhat upfront with him.
And I agree with you that I think that they knew the situation going in, or else that wouldn't have been the decision that they made.
Exactly. So this idea that, he transferred once, that means he's going to do it again. I mean, sure, anyone can transfer. I would find it hard to believe, knowing that, oh, by the way, I might be backing up a Heisman candidate, that the idea is, well, Dylan's going to get impatient in Oregon. Well, he's already sitting out this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think it's easy to be, and listen, I can be the first person to step in line when it comes to being cynical. I think sometimes we can be a little too cynical about these things.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think we usually discredit a lot of the decision-making made because it is not public information or not put out into the public sphere for us to decide or to have opinions on the decision-making process, right? And so clearly there were a lot of other conversations that might have happened that we just have to be assumption on rather than primitive on.
One other quote from Lanning on Dylan Raiola. He said he's done a great job changing his body and working hard. He's got unbelievable talent. He's a smart player, and he's had the opportunity to be exposed to our system. So that's one ex-Husker. The other, Mike Eckler.
Oh.
Lincoln Riley was asked about it the other day at USC. Riley's quote, "Eckler has a special teams track record that is up there in terms of any other coordinator in the country. His energy, his attention to detail, I think his emphasis on the fundamentals and how he teaches that is very unique. It was just something that fit our program. From our special teams fit, from him also being involved in coaching our linebackers, I think it was a huge addition for us." So that does confirm what we thought we already knew, and that is Eckler did want extra duties, and he will also be helping out and coaching the linebackers. So there's a couple of things. I don't know how meaty they are, but a couple of things regarding ex-Huskers.
This is always the perfect time to bookmark your tweets, to save audio files, and just to
Sure.
keep your clips, because whenever something happens later on in the season, someone will always refer back to Big Ten Media Days and say, don't you remember when they said this? And then they do the exact opposite on game day.
Precisely. All right. We've got a lot to come today. When we come back, a follow-up on yesterday's topic on the men's basketball reseat, and Nebraska's non-conference schedule was released today. A 2-for-1. That and a whole lot more as we roll on here on this Dumb Debates Wednesday, 402-951-1620, Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. He's Austin Jacobson. I'm John Bishop. Nick is wearing his Japanese jersey today in
Loves
solidarity with Ippei. Poor Ippei is getting raked over the coals again by ESPN. Unbelievable. 1620 The Zone. Time is running out to get registered for our Road to Chicago sweepstakes. We are sending you and a friend or a family member, a spouse, an acquaintance to Chicago to see Nebraska volleyball play at Wrigley Field.
Your
Historic
mistress.
Wrigley Field. Perhaps.
Your mistress.
But if you would like to go, we are teaming up with Union Bank and Trust to get you 2 tickets to the match, round-trip air from Omaha to Chicago, 2-night stay in downtown Chicago, and a $150 gift card for the winner to use on whatever they would like while they are there. So get registered right now at 1620thezone.com. That is 1620thezone.com. The Road to Wrigley, presented by Union Bank and Trust at UBT. People don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. This, we got wind of this late in the Grum yesterday, so we only had a little bit of time to get into it. And I also had a chance to follow up with the gentleman who has been emailing us on and gave us the tip that, this notification had come. It's now, obviously made the rounds, but volleyball just went through the reseating of the Devaney Center, which, by the way, I saw the story last week in the Omaha World Herald. They talked to, oh my God, was it Tyler Kai? I think it was, business manager.
Yeah.
And say what you want about the reseat of the volleyball. And I know there were a lot of longtime season ticket holders who were very upset by how the process went, how their seats either got moved or they were aced out of getting seats. But Nebraska almost doubled the number of $25,000 donors because people, knowing that you needed the donor points to get the better access to seats, that the number almost doubled. I think it was like 350. They had about 350 of these types of donors before, and it was like 650. So from that standpoint, the reseating of volleyball, just volleyball, has been a financial windfall for the university, which is why they did it. Again, I'm not here to say whether it was done right or they could have done it better, whatever the case. Forget about that. The main goal of this was to get more revenue, and they have gotten more revenue. No doubt about it. So, of course, they're going to go through the football reseating at Memorial Stadium after the renovations are complete. I think the process actually starts next offseason as they're redoing the stadium. And, of course, it will go into effect once the new stadium is done. But then there was a question about basketball. And as we found out yesterday, the athletic department sent out an email to season ticket holders and donors that the basketball reseat at Pinnacle Bank Arena is going to wait until 2029. And the reason, as was written in the email, we have identified significant and unavoidable overlapping timelines between the planned renovations of Memorial Stadium, I'm paraphrasing, and the men's basketball reseat that makes it difficult for us to provide the level of clarity that our fans deserve. Therefore, the men's basketball reseat will be postponed until after completion of the Big Red rebuild. This means our plans for a reseat of Pinnacle Bank Arena would occur in 2029. And as we talked yesterday, it seemed like if you were going to strike, now would be the time to do it.
Yep.
At Pinnacle Bank Arena, because the program has never been more popular. It has never been more successful. And if you were going to get people to do similar things to what they did for volleyball, to up the number of donations, to get the number of big-time donors to go up because they wanted a better place in line to get volleyball tickets, that same logic would go through for basketball. But they have decided, because of the Big Red rebuild, they're not going to do it. I would also add, I'm guessing that even though Nebraska has come up with more money, more donors for this, that the headaches created by the volleyball reseat, they didn't want to go through another round of headaches. And so they figured, let's just wait on this. because whatever the volleyball headaches were, the potential for headaches for football could be tenfold because that day is coming. They've already announced that that's not changing. When the stadium's renovated, the reseeding begins. And so they figure, you know what? Why do we need to add, another headache to a big headache?
What do you think that Venn diagram overlap is? And maybe this is something you and Josh, I know it's something that Happer and Schaefer have talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that overlap is? And we'll just stick to these three sports because they are somewhat the big three: baseball, volleyball, football for Nebraska. What do you think in that center?
You mean basketball?
Oh, basketball.
Basketball, volleyball, football.
Basketball, volleyball, football.
Yep.
Right there in the middle. How many do you think of those three in the middle of that Venn diagram are all season ticket holders of all three sports? It's got to be not much, right? It has to be limited. I know that there are some people who are very Nebraska-pilled. There are some people that are all pro-Nebraska, all that, right? But there's a difference between being a huge fan of Nebraska and also having the monetary value to be able to, boost yourself and be able to afford all of these things.
I assume you're just talking about like private people. Like,
yes,
I'm guessing FMBO. I'm guessing businesses have access to all three and are season ticket holders of all three, supporters of all three. That's a great question. I don't know.
So the reason I bring it up,
I mean, I would guess that there's enough to be noteworthy, and that those same people are probably the people who are in the $25,000 and above club. And so, that'd be my guess.
Yes, that's why I wonder because in my belief, I just don't think that number can be high enough for it to be a headache or concern, like you're saying, for each of the receipts of the individual sports. But if my perception of that is incorrect, and that is a much wider net than what I assume it to be, then I can understand why some people would be so hesitant and would cause more of a fuss to say, listen, we understand that you want more money. I'm willing to give you the money for this receipt for this sport now, but I'm not willing to move every single mountain every single time in one calendar year. If you space this out, if you give me some time, like we can work this out, we can maneuver, that sort of thing. So if that net is much wider and that's the base that you're trying to accommodate for, that makes more sense. And truthfully, again, if you have people that are willing to spend that amount of money just for volleyball to get moved up in the line, for basketball to get moved up in the line, they probably do have allegiances towards all three sports if they so choose to. Now, I will say the amount of people that I know that have season tickets for specific sports only have it for that sport. I don't know very many people that have both football and basketball. I don't know many people that have basketball and volleyball. I don't know many people that have football and volleyball. There's a few and far between, but I don't know. I probably couldn't name more than 10 people that I know from my lifetime of, living in Nebraska and different alums that I've ran into, that sort of stuff. But I will say that overlap, especially, the history of Nebraska football, the success of the volleyball program, and the recent success of basketball, it's probably never been better to try to get into all three sports at the same time. That's why I was so curious as to yesterday when this came out. As much as you said, the headache and the argument and all that sort of thing that kind of comes up, and how much of that stress you want to deal with and you want to put on your own people to try to press and get numbers and, sell more tickets and push all this reseeding, I figured you would rather just get it over with all the same time. And especially with basketball being as red hot as it ever has been, why not, as hot as that iron is going to be, try to use that to your advantage to manipulate the market as you see fit from the business side? I don't want to speak it on from the fan side. I'm just trying to speak it in the mind of if I'm sitting back on, onto outside of Memorial Stadium, my office is overlooking close to PBA. I'm trying to figure out a way how I can maximize the amount of dollars that come into this Nebraska sport.
I think one thing you want to try to avoid, and this can go for any athletic department, not just Nebraska's, but there is so much being put on the fans right now. A lot. It's a stadium rebuild. It's NIL. It's volleyball reseeding. It's football reseeding. And then you add basketball to the mix. And I think at some point you have to be very concerned, especially when you're doing a huge capital project like the football stadium, which is the biggest that the university has ever done in anything.
And it involves the state. It's not just fans. Like you're getting everyone involved in that.
That you have to be careful not to overstep your bounds. And I think what happened yesterday is probably an acknowledgement that man, we're already asking a lot for these people, and we're going to be asking a lot more of them. And if we just dump this all on them today, and it feels like it's one thing after another, you also don't want to lose the sight of the thing that makes Nebraska special is that everybody is involved. Everyone feels like they have a share. And it can feel a little too bougie, for lack of a better term. I mean, I do wonder, I'm not saying that the volleyball atmosphere is going to be muted, but I do wonder how much the volleyball atmosphere is going to feel different now that you have a lot of very long-time passionate fans that are either moved up or moved out of the Devaney Center.
I'll say this too. One thing about Nebraska volleyball that a lot of people haven't come to realize yet, Nebraska volleyball has never been more accessible. You can watch almost every single Nebraska volleyball match from home.
It's very different than it was when this program first got going.
I mean, even 10 years ago.
Where you got maybe 3 matches on NET, and that was it.
When I was a freshman going to college for the very first time, it was difficult to watch one of the top 10 programs in college volleyball. Now, you could watch Nebraska volleyball in every single match. At minimum BTN Plus, at minimum. And we're not even talking about national broadcasts that you don't pay a subscription for.
Exactly.
What's cheaper, buying a seat inside of Bob Devaney Sports Arena for every single match or one match, or paying for a yearly fee of Big Ten Plus? It is clearly Big Ten Plus. And that's not even accounting for the cost of travel and, getting the seats and everything else. It's just sitting at home and watching volleyball. I think that has to be a big reason why they have to be somewhat careful about why they do some of this reseeding. Because again, same thing with Nebraska basketball too. Yes, you've always had the men's basketball that's available on Big Ten Plus and all the other streaming services over the past few years. But that barrier now is going to be moved again because Nebraska is going to be on probably a lot more regional broadcasts because they're going to be a product people are going to want to watch more of.
Well, usually the only games that end up on Plus are the Le Moyne,
Right, yes.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the non-conference.
There's the non-conference schedule, by the way. Nebraska announcing and finalizing its non-conference schedule. And, there's Le Moyne, November 2nd. that screams BTN Plus if ever. 3 exhibition games. 3 exhibition games this year. St. Louis, at BYU, that's a return trip. And then the Kansas State one we mentioned, the one that's going out to that used to be the Heartland Athletics Center.
Heartland Event Center, yeah.
And now it's
the Big Iron Event Center.
Big Iron Event Center.
Big Iron.
In Grand Island on October 26th. But when you look at the non-conference, the regular season games, Nebraska's only going, they're not going to leave the state for a true road game in the non-conference. Their only true non-conference road game is Creighton. Technically, I guess you could say
the Providence one is
the Providence one. Yeah, that's close. That's in Connecticut. The Missouri one is in Kansas City, but that's obviously a close drive.
Yes.
But trust me, the atmosphere there, and I believe that's the casino there in Connecticut, will not be what it is at the old Dunkin' Donuts Center. I can promise you. So it won't feel that. I guess it's called the Amp now, but So Providence, that's the interesting thing. You have the 3 exhibition games, and then Providence, who is an improved team or should be an improved team this year, is the second game out of the chute up there in Connecticut at the is that the Mohegan Sun, I believe, is where it's at. Of course, there's the Boise State game, November 15th. That's the neutral site game. Neutral site. Again, not really neutral. It'll be filled with Husker fans up there at the Pentagon. Butler in Chicago. Creighton on December 5th. And Missouri. And then you wrap up the non-conference with 3 bye games. Mount St. Mary's, FDU, and New Haven. And I'm guessing there's probably a Big Ten game in the middle. Oh, maybe there's not.
It's somewhere. This is just their non-conference. There is a Big Ten game, I believe. Usually they have one pre-New Year's Eve.
Okay, there's a 10-day break between FDU and New Haven.
Yes.
So
I don't think that they have those dates out yet.
They don't. But for some reason, I thought those games were a little bit earlier, but perhaps not. So anyway, there's your non-conference schedule for basketball. A little bit better than last year's, but also Nebraska's in a better position than they were, at least going into the season than they were a year ago.
Well, and I know Creighton has this problem too, but Nebraska, like Fred Hoiberg was very vocal about it this offseason as well. It's just saying how difficult it is. And when your team is good or is like becoming a more notable program, you have a bigger, more face value. People don't want to come travel to you. And especially with Nebraska, people know that it's difficult to play in Pinnacle Bank Arena. A marquee non-conference matchup does no benefit to an opponent traveling in because everybody wants the home revenue dollars now. It's so critical to have those. It's nearly impossible for Nebraska to try to convince someone to do it. So that's why they have to do these neutral sites. That's why they have to go out to Connecticut. That's why they go to Kansas City. That's why they have to go to the Pentagon. That's why, that's why they have to keep doing it this way. And although the names are fine, like Boise State, you'll get Creighton, you'll get Kansas State, all those, Missouri. But then you can't get them to come to Lincoln. It's just it'll become an artifact of the past, unfortunately, because the money is where it's going to be. And the crux of this conversation is strictly about money.
When we come back, it's 100 days to college football, and we've got another graph and chart. And this one's rather interesting because it's based on our coaches exceeding the win expectation. We'll have that for you next on 1620 The Zone. Watching a little afternoon baseball.
Baseball.
We may have seen the final Tarek Skubal game as the starting pitcher of the Detroit Tigers. And in perfect harmony.
Welcome to the Rockies, Tarek Skubal.
Oh, no.
Well, it kind of feels like he was playing with the Rockies today because they had a 7-1 lead. And then he left. And then the Orioles came back, and now they're just trading runs, and it's 9-9 in the 12th.
Maybe, John, and hear me out.
Yeah.
He's playing 4D chess, where he's tanking on purpose so he goes to another team so he can be that star of that bad team.
Well, Skubal wasn't responsible for the comeback. He only gave up 3 runs in 6 2/3.
He
Too
did
many
his
runs.
part.
He helped a little, but, I mean, it wasn't all his fault.
There's only so much you can help.
Yeah. Because they scored 5 runs in the 7th. So, well, I mean, he helped start the rally, but then the bullpen helped finish the rally. But speaking of pitchers, and of course, Skubal, if he gets traded, it'll be the Dodgers or nothing, in my opinion.
That could save baseball.
Here's what Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, had to say about Shohei. Because, he's been shut down pitching-wise. He's not pitching anymore. Yeah, your boy
Shohei
is only half the player he used to be.
The GOAT.
Oh, he can only bat now?
Oh, no, Shohei can only bat. What are we ever going to do?
He's only good at hitting.
Dave Roberts said he was asked about if Ohtani would still pitch this regular season. And Roberts said, everything I've heard, that's not the option. I guess anything's possible, but for me, it's highly unlikely. We're doing this to make sure he's in a good spot health-wise, but given where we are in the calendar, if the knee continued to get better, the arm continued to feel better, I would expect him to pitch. But again, this is something more for Shohei and the training staff to answer. I just want to put him as in the best opportunity to be as healthy as possible. It sounds to me as if, and I asked this of Farron last week, I would be surprised if Ohtani pitches again in the regular season, it'll be at the end of the regular season just to get him limbered up for the postseason.
Get to feeling good, get the arm loose, just make sure you can still do it, and then get back out there. And also, it's a good use for the Dodgers, too, because, I mean, clearly they're the team that everyone is chasing. But if you try to catch up to them and they're using Shohei in a way that they're like, okay, this is a Shohei spot in the postseason. We know we can plug and play him. We know he's going to do this. And then he doesn't perform that way. That puts them in a bad spot. And you've got to be able to perform when your best players can go out there and perform the way that they can. I would feel like they're better off just kind of riding it out and saying kind of what they've talked about and anticipated doing. But it does behoove them to know, okay, should we even try to activate Shohei on the mound or not? Because if he's not available and he's not good for it at all, make your plans elsewhere. Because again, like we made the joke, he's still going to be useful to you somewhere else.
Yeah. So that's the latest on Shohei, which means that just opens the door for PCA to be your MVP.
Wow. How fun. America's favorite.
You can enter online for a chance to win 1620 The Zone's 5K preseason plunder. Stock up on provisions before you start the year. Improve your game day experience. Upgrade your captain's quarters. Cash in on tickets. And see your favorite team up close. You can enter to win at 1620thezone.com. Again, it's the 1620 The Zone 5K preseason plunder. Sponsored by Ag Consulting Group. When we come back, we're going to talk with Maury Hanks. He is the promoter. He's putting on the Creighton, Iowa regular season game at Casey's Center in Des Moines. The neutral site matchup. Next, here on 1620 The Zone.
live in Iowa. And so we're going to try to do the game. I'm going to announce the game time, I hope, in a few weeks, sometime in August. And I hope to have the game sometime in the afternoon. So Creighton fans, I'm making this up, at the game's at 4 o'clock. They get out of there at 6:15. They can get home by 8:30. So it's not 11 o'clock at night. And I've done a number of Iowa games there, and I try to do them in the afternoon because I believe, again, from what I've been told, if you live in Sioux City, you're not going to Iowa City much during the winter to see a Big Ten game. Even if you're in Des Moines, it's two hours over. So, a lot of those games are at 8 o'clock at night. It's tough to get back on a school night. So we're going to try to do the game sometime Sunday afternoon to help Creighton fans and Iowa fans get back home before it gets too late.
And I assume, Maury, you're kind of at the whim of what television wants, right?
No, I control the game time.
Okay.
So I'm working with both teams, but I control game time, and TV will work it out. But like I said, I think this is a unique game where both teams will travel. Both teams have great fan bases in the area. A lot of times it's just, one team's got a strong fan base, and I'm making this up. Let's say Arkansas. Arkansas travels great, but are they going to travel to Des Moines, Iowa?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
These two fan bases are built, around where the arena is.
Maury Hanks is the president of Global Sports Management. He's the one that has helped putting on the Creighton Iowa game in Des Moines. By the way, I just tweeted out the link to tickets. If you want the address, HiVTix.net is where you can go. But I did tweet out the link here just a moment ago. The idea of having that kind of mid-place location. You're in the business of promoting these types of events. You've done the Cayman Islands class. You've done these multi-team events. Obviously, those are destination events. But for things like this, we ask so much of the college fan, whether it's going to conference championship games or conference tournaments, to do so much traveling. How important is it when you organize events like this that it is convenient for the fans, because we're asking so much more, it seems like, of fans these days to follow their favorite team?
No, I think that's a big thing in terms of trying to keep the price of tickets down. We've got tickets starting at $20. And again, as you said, I kind of clicked out, but it's HiVTix.com.
Thank
you. They're on sale. We've sold, right now we've got about 8,000 tickets sold. And so we got tickets that, we've got 4 seats. We've got tickets between the baskets. But again, trying to, get everybody into the arena. Our tickets start as low as $20. And so, we try not to price it for a common fan. But also, if you're a Creighton fan, if you're an Iowa fan, and you've always wanted to sit on the floor, or your season tickets are up in the second level, and you want to get a ticket that's, down between the baskets, 10 rows from the floor, we've got, good prices on those. So, but it's, very important, I think, to try to, make the tickets as reasonable as possible, and in a location to where, like you're saying, you're not going to Hawaii, you're not going to the Cayman Islands, you're not going to see a game in Madison Square Garden on a Tuesday in December, So that's why, it's great. It's on a weekend, and we're going to try to come out with the time, hopefully sometime in August, and I hope it's sometime in the afternoon, and I think that'll really help fans get to the game. They could go there for lunch and enjoy downtown Des Moines, and then get back home before it gets too late in the day.
And Maury, just from your perspective of putting this together too, I mean, obviously Creighton and Iowa, those are two brands in college basketball many people recognize, but you've got to be pretty excited too when you're putting this together, that there's a lot of good storylines and a lot of good reasons to go to the game, even if you're not fans of either side. If you're living in Des Moines, or if you're just from Omaha, you're a college basketball fan that lives in the state, you're able to find a reason to go, because Creighton has so many new interesting storylines with the new coach, new faces. And then, of course, Iowa, with the success that they had this past season, that probably had you licking your chops a little bit to make sure that this matchup was one that was going to happen.
Yes, it's a great matchup. Like you said, even if you're not a Creighton fan, or you're not an Iowa fan, if you're a basketball fan, it's a great game. Like you said, Creighton's got a new coach. They've got great history, great long-term success that I believe that Al will continue to have. Iowa, again, they had great year last year, Coach McCollum's first year, and they've got some guys coming back for this year. So the excitement on the two programs is very high. And again, you don't have to be a fan of either team to go, hey, this is a really good basketball game. I should come out and watch on November 15th.
And again, the game time he hopes to announce very soon and try to get it in the afternoon. It's a Sunday, by the way, Sunday, November the 15th, Creighton versus Iowa in Des Moines at the Casey Center. HighVTix.com. Yes, Hy-Vee is in the grocery store. HighVTix.com. And I'm on the site right now, and you can go in and just peruse, look around, find your seat, find a price that's available to you. Maury, will there be any other things for the fans, over the course of the day there, or is it just straight basketball?
We're working on, and again, I'm just an old basketball coach, so I'm not, I'm not PT Barnum doing a lot of promotions and stuff like that, but we're talking to some people downtown, and that would be something that I'd probably have sometime in the fall, sometime in September. Maybe I come back on the show and give some tickets away to some of your listeners, and then also maybe talk about that. But we are working with some people in downtown Des Moines to try to get something going. Again, we wanted to wait to find out what time the game was to where we could say, okay, we need this 2 or 3 hours before the game. But until we have the game time, I don't want to jump the gun with that. But we're definitely thinking about trying to do something like that.
Fantastic. Again, HighVTix.com. Creighton, Iowa, Des Moines. Maury Hanks, the president of Global Sports Management, who's putting on the event. Maury, we appreciate it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a great way to really kind of kick off the season. The season will only be about a week and a half old by the time this game is this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me on. I greatly appreciate it.
You bet. Maury
Thanks,
Hanks, president of my Twitter at JohnBishop71. It's the direct link to the page of the arena and where the tickets are available. And like he said, about 8,000 sold. So that's a little bit, it's basically half capacity so far. The building seats about 16,000.
Yeah, not bad. Just for other things happening that weekend too, at least in local, Nebraska football for you J-Skers will be on the Friday at home is Creighton volleyball against Georgetown. And then Sunday, they would also be at home for a 1:00 first serve against Villanova. So you might be able to sandwich all these in together if you really strategize yourself. It does depend on the tip-off time, obviously. But
yes,
I'll be interested to know when that comes out, because obviously they're going to... He basically said that he could assess any time that he wanted to, but I wanted to see what he could do for that. So that'll be interesting.
I didn't want to, because Maury alluded to the fact this isn't the first time Creighton was in a quote unquote neutral site, but in Mac's first year they had the controversy against Iowa State, the half court shot that was counted for Iowa State in a 91-88 win. They did not have replay, but it was obvious by replay that the shot would not have counted. It would not have left. It did not leave his hand soon enough. Jamie Beacon, I think is his name. I can't remember.
Vanderbeek strikes again.
Yeah, but hopefully that doesn't happen again. Hopefully we have a nice non-controversial finish.
Yeah, and just a nice, easy, just Sunday, just having fun, hanging out in Des Moines.
Yeah.
With the Jays.
HighVTix.com if you want to get tickets for the game. When we come back, what do you need to see in 2026? Beyond the wins and the losses, we've got a list. If you've got a list, you can join us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, 402-951-1620. What is it you want to see out of this team that will make you feel hopeful for the future? We'll discuss that and more as we continue with Unsportsmanlike Conduct in 1620 The Zone. We got your chance to get free access to the Storm Chasers this weekend. We'll tell you about that here coming up. But as we welcome you back, Austin filling in for Josh, who is still serving his suspension.
Yes, that's right. That's what it is.
Oh, did we not mention that before?
No, I didn't know this.
Yeah, we actually suspended him for having a bad quality camera, Austin.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Is my camera bad quality? I see that in chat a little bit.
Look like your webcam is a potato.
Now, wait a second. He is plugged in. He is plugged into
I know, it's an internet connection, I think.
our interwebs. I am using the exact same plugged-in interweb connection, yet I am not having these issues.
You really love saying interwebs over the last month.
It's fun. It's just fun. It's more fun to say than internet.
You sound like Chris Hardwick.
I was thinking about this last night when I was walking my dog, and I thought to myself, I've never used the word arbitrary more than in the past 6 days that I've been on 1620 The Zone.
We love arbitrary.
We do. Arbitrary.
We're very arbitrary type show.
Arbor-prilled.
We always judge success by wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things about sports. Are we having audio issues, Nick?
No, it's fine. I don't know what Juan Claude is on.
Yeah, Juan, you're crazy. We're showing him.
Maybe he's like behind and he doesn't know he's behind. So he'll see this in about 10 minutes and feel like a dummy.
That's okay, Juan. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening.
One of the best things about sports is that at the end of the day, there is a scoreboard. And while we can always argue that, but that team's not actually better than there's just an upset. But at the end of the day, you have a score, and there's a winner and there's a loser. And at the end of a season, there's a record, there's wins and there's losses. And so often when we're judging coaches, when we're judging program success, we're judging it by the wins and losses. But this year, and I'm not saying this to try to soften the blow, okay? I get there's enough people frustrated out there about, that the progress in the program hasn't been enough, and I get all that. Mm-hmm. And I also understand that, it seems like there's a lot of soft selling this season as, it's just going to be a repeat of last year. It's going to be 6 or 7 wins, and it's going to feel like, they're not really making any progress. And you're just excusing away a tough schedule, blah, 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 blah. But I want to get away for just a moment with just looking at the wins and losses, because we'll have plenty of time and we will spend plenty of time arguing about the merits of whatever this season ends up being.
The Dawson merits.
And what it means, thank you, and what it means for the future of the program. Instead, I want to look at this from something different, and that is what you're seeing. Because I've said this many times. I used to argue this all the time during the Bo Pelini era. Not every 9-win season is the same. There are some 9-win seasons that look a hell of a lot better than others. And I want to dig into the things that you see or the things that you want to see. Because if we're going to assume, and I know assuming can make an ass out of you and me.
Whoa!
But if we're going to assume that we're not going to see a major bounce in record, if we can play with that assumption for just a moment, are there things that you can witness? Are there things you can see about this program that would indicate to you, or at least give you a good feeling inside, that yes, there is some progress being made, that I feel optimistic for how things are going? Because, and I will go into a slight bit of defend Matt Rule for a moment. They have progressed from where they were when he took over.
They got better?
That is undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Frost made 0 bowl games.
The positive boys.
Matt Frost. Woo. Matt Rule. Yikes. Matt Rule.
Do you get the best of both worlds in that scenario, or is it the worst? You get the offensive genius without the golf tricks.
Yeah. That Matt Rule has made progress, right? It may not be as fast, but it is progress at the end of the day. I want to know, what would you like to see out of Nebraska football in 2026 that would make you feel good or optimistic about the direction of the program? if we're going to assume that not all 6 or 7 or 8 win seasons are the same.
And I'm with you too. Exactly what you said. I've said this probably since January, February-ish. I felt this way. I think Nebraska football, if you compare them left to right from 25 to what this 26 season will be, this can all change, obviously, when the season wraps up. But
Right.
I have always thought that once this roster was kind of assembled, once they got out of spring, I think this 26 team is a much better team than what the 25 team was. But the schedule, comparative to where the other teams that they're going to be facing are, that doesn't necessarily mean the win-loss is going to be looking different. So I like this exercise. I think this is going to be very interesting. It almost feels year one-ish of a new coach because it's like,
It does, and there's some people that do not want to hear that, but
Right.
it does kind of feel that way because of the contract extension.
Yes.
And the don't call it a reset.
Reload. That's what people want.
Tweak. It's a tweak. So each of us have come up with a few things, and if you have a few, and I asked this question earlier today on Twitter, if you want to respond there, you can, or if you're joining us here in the YouTube comment section, or if you'd like to send us a tweet, Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. What are some things you want to see out of this team this season that would make you feel optimistic about the future and that there is progress being made?
Mhm.
So Austin provided his. I've got his. Here's his list.
Yeah. So I have on there for the audio listeners, consistent, explosive offensive playmakers, a well-known, did I say offensive? I think I meant defensive. I said defensive identity.
Okay.
So we'll say defensive identity. And then the running back room development being no fluke past Emmett Johnson. Would you like to say yours? You want me to explain?
Go ahead. Let's start with the first one.
I have thought this for the past few seasons under Dana Holgerson. And of course, I want this to be sans Emmett Johnson, if we can kind of replace that from our brain, put it into 2026 terms. I have always felt very highly of what Nebraska's individual offensive playmakers could provide, especially the past 2 years. I thought that they had a really good chance to be able to capitalize on Ja'Cory Barney being a kind of a bigger threat offensively. You saw it a couple of times with Isaiah Hunter.
Mhm.
I thought Dane Key, and even back to Jamal Banks, I thought you could have a few more chances to really showcase some offensive firepower. I never felt that it was very consistent, though. Ja'Cory Barney, excellent game against Michigan. A couple of big plays here and there. The UCLA game had a touchdown. Utah had an early touchdown. He was targeted many times against Penn State, but it never felt like he was consistently going to be, okay, we have a number one target on one side of the field. You got to shut him down so that way Nebraska can win. It would kind of trade off. I would really like to see Dana Holgerson's offense showcase the athleticism and say, here are our premier players. Go ahead and try to stop them. Didn't feel like that was consistent enough last year. I also think the defensive identity, because it's a new coach, I would like at the end of this season to know this is Rob Orich's, this is Nebraska's, when he gets into year two, this is their calling card. This is what other teams are preparing for when they see Nebraska on the schedule. After the first year of Tony White, it was that next year into Big Ten Media Days. A lot of people, when they talked about Nebraska, media members were asking about the 3-3-5 defense. How do you feel it was implemented? How do you go against it? Why does it give you an advantage? I even heard Brett Bielema yesterday talk a little bit about the 3-3-5 defense, how it's been transitioned around the league. I like the idea that when you go up against a team, you know what that identity could be. I chose the defensive side because it's the new coach, and I think that's where Nebraska is going to make their hay this upcoming fall, is if they can find that defensive identity that says, we're elite pass rushers, we're turnover heavy, we can force you into mistakes, we draw you into terrible situations, we can make all these different schematic changes, whatever that is. I don't know what it is right now, but whatever that identity is, I would love to see that be something that can carry into year two. And the last one, I think, is something we can lean a little bit towards now, but I would like to confirm for my own volition. If Mekhi Nelson, or if the running back room by committee, or if it's Jamal Rule at the end of the season has this very strong showing from the running back rooms, I would like to put the firm stamp of approval that EJ Barthel is an elite Big Ten running back development coach. I would like that to be the case, especially because Emmett Johnson was a guy who was fourth on the depth chart a few years ago to becoming an All-American and first-team All-Big Ten back. If that continues, Barthel deserves all of the praise necessary, and I think that he can showcase it. I would like to confirm that, especially 1 year after you have the level of talent and the level of running back that Emmett Johnson was.
He is the only offensive coach who is still in the same role year 1 to year 4.
Probably a reason for that.
Satterfield is still on the staff, but
Yes.
obviously he's not the offensive coordinator anymore.
What do you think?
And Barthel, to your point, Barthel, when our friend CFB professor and Dave Bartu over at the Matrix did their position coach rankings conference by conference, Barthel was one of the top 5 running back coaches in the Big Ten.
Yeah. And
But I think there is still an element of it feels like the jury is still a little bit out because, year 1, not great running game. Year 2, we saw some flashes of it at the end of the season, but some people gave more of that credit to Dana because he was the change. And they started to utilize Emmett a little bit more. And then last year, of course, Emmett has the big year. So it doesn't feel like there's been an EJ Barthel moment where it's like, okay, this is the guy. And so I like that third one because if there's ever a year to show you, hey, we're better than just this one guy. This wasn't just a 1-year thing. It would be a year like this. I haven't gone back through history, but just going through my mental Rolodex, I don't know if Nebraska has ever had a season where they've had fewer returning rushing yards from its running backs than this year. They have less than 400 yards returning from the running back position. And if there have been fewer, it's been in recent years, but certainly in the IBAC era of Nebraska football, I don't think there's ever been a time where Nebraska's returned fewer yards at the running back position because there was always a number 2, sometimes a number 3 or a number 4 guy who got carries, played a lot, and so they had some experience coming back.
So yeah, even in what you just said, John, my immediate thought was 2023 because the rushing numbers were low. Heinrich Harburg was the leading rusher. Emmett Johnson had 411 rushing yards that season himself.
Exactly. So this is an all-time low. So if there was ever a chance to say, and let's face it, Barthel put himself out there.
Oh, yeah.
During the offseason when he said, he's confident in this running back room. He thinks the running back room is better than last year's running back room. And so if you're going to put yourself out there like that, absolutely. Now it's time to back it up. So I really like that third one. Here's my list. And it kind of branches off on what you were just talking about. But I want to see this year a competent run game. And I realize that some of the running yards are going to come from the quarterback position. And just the threat of a mobile quarterback will also help open things up potentially for the traditional running back run game. But I want it to look competent. I want it to be a run game, the type of which that Matt Rule was talking about all the way back in the beginning. When he talked about dominating the fourth quarter and getting those, 75 yards in the fourth quarter, to be able to go out and convert that third down in 3 or 4, to convert the 4-minute drive, the game-clinching drive that either kills the clock with the lead or puts you in position to take the lead with a late score. I want to see that kind of a run game. I want to see a run game where instantly when Nebraska's got the ball up by 4 with 5 minutes left, where you're like, we can run out this clock, or we can make it very uncomfortable for the opposition to get the ball back with enough time to score. And you get that by being able to run the clock, being able to get first downs with the run game. So I want to see a competent run game. Second thing, I want a defense that is a momentum changer. One of the things that has hampered Nebraska in recent years is they have had moments in games where it felt like they were in control, and then something bad happened. It was a turnover. It was a drop pass on a third down that forced a punt. Maybe you gave up a big punt return. Something happened that changed the momentum and gave the opposition hope, and then they cashed in. I want to see a defense that can take those oh crap moments and turn it back on the opposition. So let's say you do fumble the ball away at midfield, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, damn. I want to see the defense go out there and be able to either get a stop, force a punt, get a big sack, or get a turnover back. I want to see a defense that's a momentum changer. It could be, and this goes back to what we talked about earlier this week when it came, was it this week or end of last week?
The red zone defense.
We talked about the red
exactly
zone defense.
I was thinking of.
The Nebraska red zone defense was putrid last year. It was the second worst in the entire country. It gave up more touchdowns in the red zone than anybody. A momentum changing defense sometimes can be that, well, they're on a downhill run. They're going to get it. You're going to get 6. All of a sudden, nope, you're going to get held to 3. Or maybe they get a stop on 4th down. They get the ball back for the offense. So I want to see a defense that can be a momentum changer and to take those oh crap moments and turn it back on the opposition. Third thing, I want to see special teams that remains an asset. I'm not going to expect the special teams to be the most elite special teams group in the country. I'm not going to be unrealistic and ask for the glory days, of Nebraska's punt return teams of yore, where you knew there was going to be a house call at least 2 or 3 times in a season.
But they have a preseason first team all returner, John.
They do. But I do want to see a special teams that remains an asset. A special teams that can flip the field position, both on offense and on defense. A special teams that can convert field goals. A special teams that can pin squads deep or execute properly on kickoffs. How many times have we seen Nebraska misfire on kickoffs? Not asking them to be great, but if they can maintain the course, I think that would say an awful lot, because there's going to be a lot of people as we focus this in on the question. Again, what is it that you want to see to make you feel that Matt Rule has turned a corner, or that Matt Rule is on the right track? The hire of the special teams coordinators, a.k.a. coordinator, of Brett Maher, feels like a hire very similar to, go back 2 years, to Garrett McGuire, where it was kind of experimental. You see something in someone, he's young, he's inexperienced, he hasn't done the job. And we all saw that didn't necessarily go very well. This is a hire kind of in a similar vein. But should it go well, I think it would say something for Matt Rule in still being able to identify. We didn't have to go out and get the biggest special teams coach on the planet. We didn't have to go out and did a 1-for-1 transfer of, Mike Eckler to, name a great special teams coach. But that they could still identify people within the organization who are competent and could take the learning and the playbook essentially from Mike Eckler and still execute it at this level. I think it would say an awful lot. And it would help kind of turn a narrative that, oh, Matt Rule's only doing this because he's either going on the cheap or he's not going for experience, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So that's number 3. And then the number 4 thing, and I've been hammering this the last few weeks, I want to see a sideline demeanor that is poised, that feels like they're in control. We talk about those panic moments, those momentum-changing moments. It seems like in those moments, the camera flashes to the sideline, and Matt Rule's got the big saucer eyes, and it's the deer in the headlights, and the lips are getting licked, constantly, and it feels kind of frenetic. It feels like it's out of control. And I know some of that is just a body language thing. Maybe you're kind of looking for things into that, but it also speaks to game management, properly managing 4th downs, not blowing an opportunity to score like they did last year against USC because they hesitated too long, had to burn a timeout and essentially ice their own kicker. I want to see poise in those moments. It's no longer excusable when you're at this stage in your coaching career and with this much veteran experience that you have around you. You still have Phil Snow in the organization, for crying out loud, to feel like the game is getting out of hand and that the control isn't there on the sidelines. if I come away from this season, even if it goes 7-5, but I feel like, yeah, but they didn't have that boneheaded game management issue. They didn't burn that boneheaded timeout. They didn't make that weird play call or have that substitution error. If I come away feeling that those things have been corrected, that's going to feel like progress to me.
Yeah. And I agree with you too. Now, there's obviously the big caveat with this that all these things could happen, may happen. But I also think that if the things that we said are this wish list, that all these things that we've talked about are they come to fruition by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska wins 6-7 games, right? And you feel pretty good about some things. And yeah, there would be some times when things don't go your way or you have mistakes or that sort of, you get beat by a better team. But I also think that there's a great possibility that, again, all those positive things happen. Then Nebraska wins a lot of these coin flip games that they're going to be a part of this upcoming season. They could win a Friday night at Illinois. They could beat Washington at home on Halloween. They could win a lot of these games that a lot of people say, well, I don't know. Those are games they usually lose.
I don't know.
But if you have a positive running back room, if your special teams flourishes, if you have, sideline demeanor that dominates in key crucial moments, then you're able to take the games that have slipped through your fingers so many times over the past 3 years, decade, 2 decades, however far back you want to go.
Some of the responses we got from earlier today, Scott wrote, he wants to see a top 25 defense, 17 points per game, top 30 offense, 28 points per game, defensive yards per rush under 4.5 in Big Ten play, special teams that doesn't take a step back, 7-5 record minimum, no blowouts.
I think you'd be the greatest 7-5 team in the history of college football if you had a top 25 defense, a top 30 offense.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Be pretty good.
Some of those may not jibe necessarily. Joel says more sacks and turnovers. Highly agree, especially on the turnover side. Sure tackling like we saw under Tony White. Development at running back, going back to your point. Emergence of a go-to pass catcher.
Mm-hmm. And I really like what Husker Dave had to say, too, in reply. Just basically saying that you need more elite players that are recognized by the conference. I've thought this for a couple of years, too. And this even goes back to the Frost years that we always heard and were told how talented a lot of these players are, and all of these players that are so fantastic and so great in high recruiting rankings. But then when we get to the end of each season, none of them are recognized the way that we expect them to. Emmett's obviously an exception there. Ty Robinson, the years past, obviously with some statistical performance and such. But I would like it to get to a point when Nebraska gets to the end of a season, and it kind of goes to the same point I was making about having explosive offensive playmakers, because that's where I feel that they are. You almost have players that earn the respect of coaches and get second or third team or honorable mention,
right?
Not just because that their stats are gaudier, because the coaches say, we had to play away from them. We had to stop this player from beating us. We had so much respect for this person on Nebraska's roster that we have to give them postseason recognition for it. And I think that is a possibility, but you have to show it, and you have to be able to parlay that into some success on the field in some way.
Going back to my misspeak earlier, thanks to Joel in the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed, we have our first picture of Matt Frost.
Is that in a face-off reference? Is that what we're trying?
Kind of looks like it. Matt Frost, ladies and gentlemen. Well, speaking,
what's the best version of that coach? For the break, we'll figure that out.
The best version of that coach? That's a great question.
Is that a dumb debate?
Hang on to that for dumb debates. This isn't the first time that Matt Frost will be brought up, because coming up next, we will get to the graphs and charts that I saw today, and both Matt and Frost were on the chart. We'll explain when we continue with 100 Days to College Football. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Austin in for Josh. I'm John Bishop, 1620 The Zone. I'm not sure what part of the planet it's still 9 a.m., but the deadline is passed for the Big Ten and the SEC to agree to the new negotiations made in the Saving College Sports from Itself Act.
Say it ain't so.
Nice, you did a Weezer.
Now, we did get a little more information as to some of the things that were changed in the legislation to get the Big Ten and the SEC's approval. According to a Senate Commerce Committee aide, they said, quote, major concessions were made overnight.
Like nachos?
Like nachos. Some of the things that were changed. The conference membership cap would be at 19 and requires schools moving from one power league to another to compete as an independent for 5 years. Allows but does not require FBS schools to pool their television rights if at least 75% of them agree to the concept. It still prevents coaches from leaving their teams before the season ends.
Good.
And creates a $20 million retention pool for schools to use to retain current players in addition to the $21.3 million revenue share cap. Also allowing programs an additional $5 million to be spent only on female athletes. So that would raise the cap to roughly $46 million. So those are some of the things that were brought to the attention. One other quote here. This was from the same Senate Commerce Committee aide. Quote, there's a definite feeling that the Big Ten and the SEC are continuing to move the goalposts, and time is ticking. That's not a joke. There is a non-zero chance, a small chance, but not a 0% chance that the Senate could go to recess early. The ball is really, really in the SEC and Big Ten's court. I understand maybe they need to say, hey, we support this. There's a few other details to work out, but otherwise that would be a tough position to plan.
I feel like dealing with the Big Ten and the SEC is having two probably, adolescents in the back of your car on a road trip trying to figure out where to eat. Both of them are very particular.
Something like that.
Yep.
Very particular.
Burger King.
It's always Whopper season.
Well, coming up next, it's Bowling Green season. Kevin Peele, who works the sidelines for the Bowling Green Radio Network, we are going to preview Bowling Green, Nebraska's second opponent in 25 teams in 25 grums, next on 1620 The Zone.
countdown is on.
Pressure off the edge. Sets up the screen perfectly. Up the middle, it's Petaway. Inside the 10 and the 5. Touchdown, Bowling Green. 45 yards. Whoa. He's going to throw the fade. Corner of the end zone. Rising high and hauling that in. Outstanding catch by Jacob Harris. Harris made the touchdown grab from Drew Pine.
Here's a pass underneath, and Allen Middleton is free. It's Brennan Ridley streaking down the field. Ridley on that screen has burst him wide open, and he is gone. Brennan Ridley on the screen pass goes 86 yards, and Bowling Green's rolling.
It's time for 25 teams in 25 grubs.
And today we feature Bowling Green in their second season under head coach Eddie George.
Whoa, that's a name.
Yes, it is. By the way, after we get done with 25 teams, we do have an update on the status of an important Nebraska football player. We will tell you about in a sports flash coming up. But for right now, there's a tease, my friends. Kevin Peel, who does the sidelines for Bowling Green's radio broadcast, joining us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Kevin, good afternoon, and thanks for coming on today.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing? Cannot wait for football to be back. It is going to be such a joy to see it again.
What's the excitement level now in the second year? I know the recruiting class, top in the MAC. Eddie George, brings a lot of excitement. He's a huge name in football. What's the optimism level and the excitement level going into this year?
Still a ton of optimism. We all know it's very much a process because of how young this roster is. Look, when Scott Loeffler left to go to the Eagles, went to be the QB coach for Jalen Hurts, it came at a really weird time, early in 2025. And we're thinking to ourselves, this is way outside the coaching cycle. Who is Bowling Green going to be able to pull at this time? Like it was a disaster, sinking feeling, because Coach Loeffler had led the program to 3 straight bowls after a lot of struggling years for this Falcon program, and to pull Eddie George, what a huge boost it was to this university. And I think when the Falcons got off to that 3-3 start last year, and of course the way they beat Toledo, arch nemesis, you're defined by that game year in, year out, no matter who you are, player, coach. I think we were hoping things were going to really take off at that point, but at the same time, we had probably put the cart ahead of the horse a little bit in terms of last year, and some of the deficiencies started to show as the season went on. But a lot of optimism. We love the recruits that have come in. We think we have a big-time playmaker, a QB, who has had some great coaching, has been in a big program. But is he going to have the support he needs with 5 new starters on the offensive line, guys that have had some experience, but can you protect Austin Novosad? That's going to be a big thing. The only possible returning starter, Nate Pabst, went to Florida State, understandably so, with the way the NIL and the transfer portal has worked. So that is a big loss on the offensive side, but there's still a lot of optimism. I think at least a bowl is still possible, and if you can beat Toledo, of course, that really helps.
Kevin, so my question actually goes back to that start with Eddie George and how you felt the season progressed, because although you go from 3 straight bowl games, there were some positives. The defense looked like they were strong at different times. The offense had a lot of room for improvement. But overall, did you feel like the mistakes that were made at the beginning of the year became corrected by the end and they were just out-talented? Or was that kind of an issue throughout the entirety of the season in Georgia's first year at the helm?
The issues kind of surfaced as the season went on. And what we saw was this: Drew Pine was banged up really throughout the majority of the season and really couldn't play as time went on. The offense was extremely limited anyway with the wide receiving core. We did not have a lot of threats on the outside. if you, of course, looking at, I'm sure you guys saw some of the numbers in terms of our receiving. Jaron Johnson was one of our leading receivers. He was a tight end, so getting the ball downfield was a big problem. Some offensive linemen in and out as well. Austin Dendy, we didn't know really what we had in him until later in the season because he was not available starting out the year. So that was a nice blessing, a big infusion to the lineup once he was able to get in there. And of course, we expect him to play a big role this year. But over time, it seemed like defenses were picking up on Bowling Green and saying, we could tell this is a team that's very strapped, trying to get the ball down the field, whether it's a time issue or whether it's just a playmaking issue on the outside. They were really starting to crash. Opposing defenses were starting to crash in on the running game, which, as you might expect, Eddie George, he likes to play a little hard-nosed, run the football type of game, as you would expect from his playing days. So with limited playmakers, that was a problem for Bowling Green, and it surfaced over time. But also injuries at QB, Lucian Anderson, who was more of a runner but made enough plays in the passing game. He actually transferred to South Carolina, and I know he's going to be a little bit further down the depth chart there. But he was able to kind of spearhead that Toledo win. He also was banged up, and so that's when Hunter Najum, true freshman, comes into the lineup and really managed as best as he could with limited options. But also, when you had the turnstile on the offensive line, that was challenging too. So they lost two guys in one game, actually, because Baron May started the Kent State game and then got hurt for the rest of the year. Bad injury. He played pretty well in that game against Kent State, and that's when Hunter Najum was really kind of forced into the starting role. So they did great with what they had, but all in all, with all the injuries and the limited nature of this offense, 4 wins was probably what that team deserved, unfortunately, even after the grade 3 injury start.
Kevin Peel, who does the sidelines for Bowling Green's radio broadcast, joining us here, 25 teams and 25 grums. But as you mentioned, they bring in Novosad, the former Oregon Duck, to shore up the quarterback position. How have been the early returns, going back to the spring? What's a reasonable expectation for someone who comes in with a pedigree, just hasn't had that big experience yet?
Yeah, that's the thing. He's raw in terms of talent. We know he was a 4-star recruit. We know he's skilled. Is he going to have the support around him to make plays? That's going to be the big question. One thing that Bowling Green has struggled over the years to have is a quarterback that can not just be a pocket passer, but also solid mobility and have that element to their game. BG has had those big pocket passers over the last couple of years, but maybe hasn't had a guy that can take off and make a difference with his legs. That's a different element that could really help this offense, especially if the offensive line early on is struggling somewhat, although there is good size up front, so you're encouraged in that regard. But yes, with his skill set, getting those limited reps from Oregon with that coaching staff, is it enough now going into Coach George's system that, hey, we're going to try and bring out that talent that we know is in there? That's what we're hoping for. But of course, those other elements on the outside are going to be key. Brennan Ridley returning is a big plus for this team because he can really take the top off the defense. Wynn Sharp's a big Northwest Ohio guy from a local high school that made some important catches last year, but really needs to start to get into the fold. So that's the question. And along with that, can Austin Dendy maybe make some plays receiving as well? Because he's a great running back, but we have to make sure that this offense is not one-dimensional, because when it does, that's when you start to see some of the struggles that we saw late in the year last year.
Kevin, my next, I want to pivot over to the defensive side, and just with the younger talent that you have, it looked like you got a couple of key defensive backs that transferred in too. will the defense be good enough to keep the offense, I guess, afloat in games to be able to give them that experience to get better as the season progresses? Or is there going to be more lumps to be taken on the defensive side as well?
We are encouraged by some of the returners, and yes, slotting in those young players is going to be critical as well. I know Coach George is going to move his son Eric, looks like a little more to the inside this year and be the element there, stopping the run up the middle. He was more of a defensive end. They're going to move him inside because they think that can best help him impact that pass rush. Getting Miles Bradley back, who had a strong year last year, is going to be huge as well. There is one element that this Bowling Green team can't really replace, and that's Gideon Lamprin, who had 17.5 tackles for loss last year. Just an absolute animal. The middle name, by the way, was ESPN. Didn't know if you saw any of those headlines about that, but that he was Gideon ESPN Lamprin. He got the call from Coach Prime, transferred there to Colorado. But he was an FCS All-American at Dayton and then transferred to BG, only made it a year. He was hoping to have, as another great linebacker up the middle, Dorian Pringle. Those two would have been truly special next to each other. And we saw that just for about a game and a half. Unfortunately, Dorian had a season-ending injury, and that very much impacted the linebacking core. So Lamprin was able to shine a little more. But all in all, getting Pringle back, you hope his health is solid because he's going to be the leader of that defense, that powerful sophomore that maybe if he was a little larger in stature, he probably wouldn't be at Bowling Green. He'd probably be at a bigger school. But he was an animal, what we saw from him in very limited action last year. So that's what we're hoping for there. Sanders Ellis is a nice addition from Purdue. I think they have a big hope for him that he's going to help Dorian Pringle really in that linebacking core. But yes, in terms of the secondary, Kal-El Pascal, great tackling safety, one of those guys that Coach George and his staff really just kind of lets him fly around. And that's why he loves that defensive system so much. We're very fortunate to have him back because he is an impact player on the back end. JoJo Johnson had a strong year at corner. I believe Keon Washington actually transferred to Iowa State, who Bowling Green's playing the following week. So that's going to be interesting as well. Not having him is going to hurt a little bit. But yes, there are some questions in terms of that youth. Can they slot into that system and ultimately make plays? But Bowling Green did have some struggles with some big gains in the passing game. That got a little bit worse as the season went along last year. Definitely room for an improvement, but the pass rush or lack thereof, especially as the season went on, did not help the secondary at all either. So you're hoping some of those young players can slot in and make a big impact right away.
Kevin Peel does the sidelines for Bowling Green Radio, joining us here on 25 Teams and 25 Grums. Kevin, great to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in about 6 or 7 weeks when the Falcons come into town.
Can't wait to see Memorial Stadium for the first time, Sea of Red night game as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin Peel joining
you.
us here from the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Couple of stats here real quick. By the way, Kent State. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong team.
Bowling
Green finished behind Kent State in the MAC preseason coaches poll. Bowling Green picked 9th in the MAC.
They've got a lot of turnover. And I don't know if you can pick it up from Kevin, but that's a lot of new faces and a lot of people that are trying to figure out.
One thing they're going to want to do, and this is something worth watching when we get to that game, they had the second worst punt coverage in the country. They allowed 19.5 yards per punt return. That's a lot, especially in an era where there hasn't been as many punt returns as there was in days gone by. So if Nebraska's special teams is still an asset and Bowling Green has not shored up that part of the game, they could get some game-breaking punt returns.
For sure, yeah. And anything when you're on the road and anything that can help you out, too, in a big environment, big special teams play goes a long way.
All right, well, that is Bowling Green. Tomorrow we have
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Wow, Rebs.
Going back to the SEC. But
fly the flags.
we need a sports flash.
Sports Flash.
Time for an unsportsmanlike conduct sports flash update.
Sports Flash.
From the Sports Flash Sports Desk. From our friends at KETV Newswatch 7 Sports. A source has confirmed that running back Mekhi Nelson will
Sports Flash.
play this season.
Whoa.
At Nebraska.
That's good.
Sports Flash.
Of course, he was arrested in June for aggravated battery.
Sports Flash.
The Florida prosecutors in the case
Sports Flash.
declined to file charges.
Sports Flash.
And on Wednesday, KETV confirmed with a source within the program that Mekhi Nelson will play this season. So a big question off the board. I guess we'll find out more tomorrow when Matt Rule talks to the media. If there's going to be any sanctions, whether it's, any kind of a suspension. I know that he was still allowed around the program, but was not allowed to eat with teammates at the training table. But if there's going to be anything beyond that, would there be a game suspension? Would there be some things he has to do extra in practice, whatever the case may be? But he will play this season, which for Nebraska and a running back room, as we've talked about, is short on experience. He is one of the experienced guys that is coming back.
Matthew in chat asked, wonder what that means for Tyke Hayes. I will say this. I don't think it changes much because, if anything, I think Tyke Hayes' role was going to be exactly what it was with or without Mekhi Nelson. However, it does probably more change Isaiah Mosey, Jamal Rule, Connor Booth, some of those other names that you would probably expect maybe get some carries before. Yeah, Quinn Ives in there too. But Mekhi Nelson, as many of it would expect, is going to be at least the number one. I don't want to say bell cow just yet, but as long as there's no long-term suspension or anything of that nature, I would still expect that it's status quo for what they had going forward in their plans from the spring to where they are now.
I would have to guess that Tyke Hayes had to realize, especially coming in this late in the game, because he went through a spring at Iowa Western. So he has not actually had practice with his new teammates. So it's almost like he's a true freshman.
Yep.
That if he was expecting to see heavy playing time this year, that would be, even without Mekhi Nelson, would seem rather bold.
Yeah.
So I would guess that, he came in under the expectation that, hey, still got 4 years left. This is going to be more of a developmental year for me.
Yep.
And then hit the ground running more next year.
For everything that, people talk about, and we even touched on this a little bit ago, or probably a couple segments ago now at this point, with the Dylan Raiola to Oregon, all that sort of stuff too. Everything that I understand from what Matt Rule does within his program, he's very upfront and honest with anyone who's coming in or leaving the program. So Tyke Hayes came in and he knew exactly probably what he was stepping into. I don't think this is going to change any of his mindset or mannerisms, but you're right. It might change a little bit of your internal of like, okay, well, now I officially know I am probably X, Y, or Z spot on the depth chart.
There you go. So Mekhi Nelson will play this season, according to KETV Newswatch 7. Of course, on tomorrow's Grum, we'll hear plenty from Matt Rule, and we'll probably get even more details as to what is going on just ahead of training camp. But when we come back, it is Wednesday. It is the happy hour, and that means Dumb Debates next on 1620 The Zone.
do we did anyway, dumb debating.
John's computer sucks, Macs are the only way, dumb debating.
Fullbacks are running backs, hamburger steaks.
Josh is too dumb to eat a cupcake.
Melee debates.
Does John like Nebraska or Creighton?
Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Die for the pylon or give up on the plate, dumb debating.
Millennials are great and old should go away, dumb debating.
Rarely do we find any common ground.
Josh wants his food to be the best around.
Even if it gives him fatal flatulation. Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
When a tree falls down and nobody's around, you can bet your ass it won't make a sound. Water ain't wet, you know nothing about hydration. Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
It is Dumb Debates, our Wednesday tradition, where we take your debates and we bring them to the radio airwaves and we broadcast them out to the world and we try to solve them one dumb debate at a time. And you know what? Dumb debates happen everywhere, every day.
All the time.
All the time. And not just in seats of power.
I got a first one, actually.
What's that?
Dumb debates. Is Austin's computer the worst computer ever?
Yeah, it's just not liking what's going on right now. I might have to do a full restart on this computer because it keeps kicking me out of the stream. Nick, I don't know what's going on.
Wow. You're gone now.
In fact, that's what we're going to do because it doesn't want anything to work. So see you later, computer. We're restarting.
All right. Well, Austin
Dumb debate. Does
restarts.
restarting your computer actually do anything?
Sometimes.
The good news is, because it's an audio medium, we're still on the air.
That's right. AM radio lives on, folks.
It still lives.
Forget.
You can send us your dumb debates anywhere, anyplace, anytime into the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Use the hashtag dumb debates. And if we don't get to yours in a certain week, don't worry, we archive. You can also send your dumb debates into the Equitable Bank Zone inbox, John at 1620thezone.com. We also archive those if we don't get to them.
It's like we're a bunch of squirrels and we're storing your debate nuts for the winter.
Store those nuts, Nick.
From Ray.
Hi,
Dumb
Ray.
debate from Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Which smart technology app would you hate to lose the most? He throws out a few examples. Alexa, your garage door opener, thermostat. Now this is remotely controlling your thermostat and or garage door opener. Podcasts, food ordering services, banking, sports viewing apps, anything else. What is the smart technology app you would hate to lose the most?
I was on board with podcasts until banking became an option.
Ooh.
Online banking is elite.
Yes.
It's incredible. Absolute game changer.
I mean, you're literally dealing with your money, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much better when you have earlier access to it or easier access, or if you need to correct something like, oh my God, a bill is late, where you can just take care of it and you don't have to, checks in the mail.
So
it's just, you can fix it on the spot, get it taken care of. I saw a story. I don't know if it's true or not. I think it is. But that someone was late on a car payment.
Oh.
And the manufacturer with the remote technology was able to shut the vehicle down.
That's crazy.
See, I actually hate that. That's terrible. We live in
Now,
hell.
I'm not saying that's the technology that is good, but what I'm saying is if that were to happen with the online banking, you could immediately forward a payment and correct a problem.
Or another real life example.
Or get your power turned back.
A less dystopian example. There was one time I had to get a very specific expensive thing done on my truck, and I went to pay for it, and I needed to actually dip into my savings a little bit to complete the payment.
Yep.
I could just do that. Boop, boop. All right, here you go. It took 5 minutes.
I mean, that might be the answer.
It's gotta be.
Even though it's not as sexy, even though it's not as exciting, certainly would I want to lose out on being able to watch a game anywhere, any place, anytime on my phone when I'm on the road or on a bus on a Creighton trip or something? Yes. But going back to the old days where you have to take your check and physically go deposit it.
Yeah.
And then you do all the stuff with, balancing your checkbook. It's like, oh
yeah. No, this is a life that Dr. Fiance lives. She's from a small town. She still uses her small town bank, which doesn't have mobile banking. And so we have no idea how much money is in her account at any time.
So-
it's a very intriguing life to live.
I actually very recently started banking. I started banking in Omaha this year.
Nice.
Up until then, I used my small town bank, except they did have a banking app. They didn't for the longest time. But before they had a banking app, the only way for me to check my account was to find an ATM and check my balance on the ATM.
On the ATM. I think that this is definitely one of those that it sucks that you have to pick such a boring answer, but it is probably the right one. I'm even trying to just rattle my brain. I could do without most of the things I use my phone for, like in pure necessity sakes, right? In terms of the streaming and the accessibility, that sort of stuff. The mobile banking is one that I could go to the bank and do everything else the way that I normally do, but the convenience of it comparative to anything else, and in terms of the monetary value that I need it for, that has to be it. I mean, I check my banking and my checking account like every single day just to make sure that everything is in line, that nothing happened, all
Me
that sort
too.
of stuff.
Okay, so since we're so unanimous on this, let's take banking out of the equation of the options that are remaining.
Well, I was going to say, of the ones that Ray mentioned, I don't use Alexa. I don't have a remote, like being able to open my garage door or use my thermostat on my phone. I don't do DoorDash.
Yep.
Or Uber Eats. I think it's ridiculous that you want to pay $30 for a McDonald's cheeseburger that costs you $5. So I don't need that. I mean, honestly, it'd probably be the sports viewing apps. It'd be the next thing.
The only thing that I really
Or
use
podcasts.
a lot of my mobile apps for is actually just getting deals, whether I go to grocery stores or gas stations. I'm using rewards, hella rewards on my phone. So if I could just pool all those together, that's what I would do. If not, I use the temperature thing constantly for my, not like thermostat changing, like tinkering with it all the time, but I do like being able, when I'm on a road trip, especially if we're going to be gone for a couple of days, the house is going to be empty, turning off and turning back on all of my appliances and such. It's very nice. I do enjoy that.
We have a friend of ours who he has his espresso machine hooked up to a smart outlet. So if he wants espresso on his way home, he just turns that off.
That's really cool. I do like that.
So I don't
Millennials
think he could live without that. Mine would have to be the podcast. I listen to podcasts as much as I listen to music, which is a lot.
I just download them all to my Walkman. I'd put it on in my pocket.
Some people might say that recorded music is actually just musical podcasts.
Whoa.
Josh would say that, yes.
Good debate.
It's like a podcast, but there's more to it.
Matthew in chat says the weather app. That's an interesting one. That's not one that I check all the time. Yeah, it's a good thought, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, the ability to look at radar and stuff.
Radar is a big one. Yeah, so like day-to-day weather, not so much, but especially when a storm is rolling in, and severe weather when I can't get to Ramby, that's got to be on the top of the list.
Yeah, it's a really good one, especially when the alerts come up and the because sometimes when you're on the road and you don't know what county you're in, but you still get the alert where there's like, hey, there's a tornado warning and it's the county that you're in. And it's like, I wouldn't have known that just listening to the radio if I wasn't aware of what county.
That sucks to be Matt McMaster. You wouldn't even know what county you're in.
That's true. With Matt, it'd be like, I have no idea what's going on. From Corey, now this one might be appropriate because Corey grew up in central Nebraska.
Whoa, Corey.
Home of 97.7 The Zone. Can you tell the difference between corn or grass-fed beef? I can easily tell the difference. Grass is mushy.
Oh, Corey, this is right up my alley. 1,000,000% you can tell the difference.
Absolutely, you can.
100%, no doubt. Now, I will say this. If you are not a regular beef eater, you won't be able to. It's going to taste the same, but if you have grown up in this Midwestern cattle region, you're going to be able to know the difference right away. I can tell the difference when I go into restaurants and I eat. There are even some times that I've been specific enough that I can know like regions of the state. Now, I'm not that specific as it is anymore, but I used to be able to tell where someone was getting their cow products from.
You're a beef sommelier.
Well, Jacobson Cattle Incorporated, we do know how to work our beef. I'll tell you that.
I love small town stuff like that, like with beef, or in the most prevalent case in my case is there's a lot of hogs and cows were in my area.
That's really mean to say about the women.
I didn't. That's messed up, Austin. But the fact that like I can easily tell the difference between cow poop and pig poop and chicken poop.
That's where you went.
Just
Was
like
the poop
in the air. It's like, oh, yep, that's chicken poop. That's pig
well,
poop.
cow poop usually not in the air.
Now, I've had more beef than either one of you because, I'm old.
Wow.
I've eaten a lot
honestly,
of beef.
I mean, I don't know when I'm having corn-fed or grass-fed necessarily in front of me. I suppose if you put them in front of me at the same time, I would be able to tell a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it's never something I've thought of before.
Yeah.
I've probably eaten a lot more corn-fed because I'm from Nebraska, but I don't know if I would be able to tell the difference right away.
Corn-fed, or you could do, you can call it feed, whatever you wanted to. All those different things. Basically, it is the main difference of grass-fed. A lot of people will tell you that the grass-fed version is not for them. There are some people that do prefer the grass-fed. I have an older brother that grass-fed is a little bit more, it's kind of my thing, whatever. The people who tell you that there's a nutritional difference between the two, they don't know what they're talking about. It's the same cow, just tastes a little bit different.
Right. It's more the marbling, right? The corn-fed usually has the more marbling in it.
Yes. And
but in
also,
terms of the lean is still the same.
Yeah, generally speaking, it's going to be close to about the same. But yeah, the people who will tell you that you can get like significant health differences are the same people that will tell you like not to use certain oils and whatnot. Like, don't listen to that. You're going to be totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just eat your beef. You're going to like your beef.
All right, we're going to stay with food here.
I like food.
This is a personal experience. So the last couple of months, I have been on a Raisin Bran kick.
Oh,
from Kellogg's.
And Kellogg's has been the Raisin brand of choice. But recently, the wife discovered that there was a special on store brand Raisin Bran.
Mm-hmm.
I will not say which store this is.
Okay.
Got the Raisin Bran, poured out a bowl.
Pour one out.
And I had a problem with this Raisin Bran. It's not that it doesn't necessarily taste good. There were too many raisins.
Too many raisins.
In the Raisin Bran.
Raisins.
And I said the same thing.
Weird.
I said the same thing to my wife. I said, hey, next time you go to the store, can you make sure you get the Kellogg's Raisin Bran? And she asked why. And I said, because this has too many raisins in it. And she had the exact response that you did. What do you mean, too many raisins?
Yeah, it's the first time in history someone's ever asked that question, too, because there's never been a barbecue someone's went to and been like, where are the raisins? I need more of these.
You can have too many raisins in a Raisin Bran. I mean, when you're taking a spoonful and all you have is the taste of raisins, it feels like I'm just having raisins for breakfast, not Raisin Bran.
A bowl of dried grapes.
And I know that there are people probably shouting at their radios or shouting at their computers or shouting at their mobile devices saying, you idiot, the raisins are where all the flavor comes from. I understand this.
Well, the sugar is.
But this is the same argument that I have used for years over the Oreo cookie. Everyone's all about, I got to have more stuff. Give me double stuff. Give me triple stuff. I need more stuff. Why don't they just serve the stuff?
Mega stuff.
The beauty of the Oreo is the balance between the chocolate wafers and the stuff. And it together makes for a good cookie. Yes. Does the stuff in the middle have more flavor than the cookie? Of course it does. But they didn't make it just to serve the stuff. They made it as part of a package. It's the balance. It's the same thing with a Reese's cup. Everyone loves the Reese's peanut butter. Oh, why did you just serve the peanut butter? I just eat the peanut butter. No, the balance is in the chocolate and the peanut butter. They mastered it the first time around. So going back to Raisin Bran, the beauty of the Raisin Bran, if you like Raisin Bran, is the balance between the bran flake and the raisin. You can, just like you can have too much bran flake in your Raisin Bran, you can have too much raisin in your Raisin Bran.
So, John, you came to the right place. I'm a Raisin Bran stan, as the kids are saying these days.
Is the question... What's the question here, I guess?
Can you have too many raisins in the Raisin Bran?
I think most of the time you can have too many raisins and things. I'm not a huge raisin guy, though.
I understand if you don't like raisins.
As a Raisin Bran defender.
I don't hate raisins. I'll eat raisins, but I would actually prefer more bran to raisin.
Okay, for those who don't like raisins, can you have too many chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie?
Oh, no. That's actually, those are not the same, John.
Those
you
aren't
cannot.
the same.
I believe you can because you have too many chocolate chips and you just have a chocolate cookie.
Listen. If you're making banana bread and you're not just like compiling as much chocolate chips into the density of that thing, I want it to be 95% chocolate chip and 5% banana bread.
You're a chocolate chip banana bread guy?
Yeah, dude, I'm a goober. What do you want from me, okay?
That actually sounds good.
I'm a normal banana bread enjoyer.
I'm a normal banana bread. Whatever, no one's asking you. I want to get back to raisin bread.
Put raisins in your banana bread.
I'm not putting raisins in my banana bread, all right? I'm not 85 and my teeth aren't falling out yet, okay? I want to get back to Raisin Bran, America's cereal, and one of the core values of this country, Nick. On that note, Raisin Bran is already the perfect balance. It's 2 scoops of raisins. They put that on the box for a reason.
I swear to God, this grocery store brand had 3 scoops.
That's too many.
Or
and
maybe
you know what?
4.
I agree with you because I tried to picture in my mind that one beautiful moment you have when you pour all that beautiful golden, or not golden, it's more of the beige, the brown beige of the bran with the raisins and the little sprinkles of just beautiful marbling of sugar on top. And then you pour your milk over it and you have this delicious moment where you're lifting the spoon up and you get a little bran, a little crunch, a little crisp, a little soft, a little raisin, a little sweet. Oh, that's perfect. But if I have too much of the sweet, if I have too much of the sugar, I'm not going to have a good time. You know what I want? I want balance, as all things should be. Thanos was right. Raisin Bran needs 2 scoops. That's where I stand.
I'm glad I have support on this because I said it again to my wife. I made double sure when she went to the store. Hey, make sure you get the Kellogg's. Said, why? Because the other Raisin Bran had too many raisins in it.
Interesting.
And she got mad at me. And I said, if I wanted to have raisins for breakfast, I would just eat raisins.
On that same note, I'm anti a lot of the other cereals that are Raisin Bran adjacent. Like Raisin Bran Crunch, too much for me. Craisin Bran, I'm not for it. Just give me the OG. I just want it the way it is.
Agreed.
I kind of like craisins. I don't love them, but I kind of like them.
I like craisins, but I don't want Craisin Bran.
Yeah.
I just want the OG. I like the OG.
I like the tart of the craisin.
The tart. That's nice.
It was almost to the point there were so many raisins. I almost asked the wife, "Kate, could you just get me a box of Wheaties?" And then I would,
okay,
and then I would,
lost me,
and
John.
then I would throw. Well, I was just looking for more flake.
Yeah.
So to mix up with the raisins, so I could just hey, if I pour this box of Wheaties into the Raisin Bran and then shook it up, it would give me the proper balance. It was that far off.
We do have that problem with a lot of cereals, especially where they're just like, oh, do you like this one thing about our cereal? What if we give them all of the things?
So,
now, as a defendant of Oops All Berries, I do like the Oops All Berries.
Oops All Berries is great.
But in Captain Crunch, I got to have the balance. You got to have some neutral flavors.
I need my mouth to be cut up with the berry flavor.
100%.
I recently had a similar thought because at the end of the day, this is a discussion about excess, right?
Whoa.
I saw in the store the other day Lucky Charms, but they were chocolate Lucky Charms with the marshmallows, and I thought to myself, that's too much. The marshmallows and the Lucky Charms were a treat. You have to dig through the cardboard.
That is true.
And get the marshmallow. You can't just give kids chocolate and marshmallow at the same time. What have they earned? What lessons have they learned?
That's a great point, Nick, because if they can't work through the subtleties of trying to dig through a bowl at the very end of your Lucky Charms for those last few marshmallows, that last little bit of sweetness before you head off to school to learn about grammar for 8 hours, then what are we really teaching our youth? That anything's possible? That's just simply not true.
We're teaching them that hard work is meaningless and you could just be given things.
That's right. That's why I'm pro Raisin Bran.
From Rick.
Hi, Rick.
What is more difficult to keep out of the way of collateral damage? It wouldn't be a dumb debates if we weren't dealing with poop questions. What is more difficult to keep out of the way during collateral damage? Is it the belt and or pants opening during number 1, or the back of the shirt or the shirt tail during post number 2 cleanup?
So I'm gonna be honest with everybody right now. If I have to go to the bathroom and I need to sit down for it and I'm wearing a jersey or a shirt and I have an undershirt underneath it, I take off. I don't get naked.
Okay.
I take off like my jersey. If I'm going to the bathroom today, I'm taking my jersey off. I am going to take my jersey off. I will just be in my tank top or whatever while I go to the bathroom because I don't even want to think about risking a shirt tail being caught in the crossfire.
Do you hang it up like on the rafters? So you're just like, don't worry, guys. Business is getting done in here.
If there's an opportunity to hang it, I will. But most of the time, I just kind of have to fold it in a very specific way to fit in my pocket.
And also, let's be real. We're all adults
put it
here.
in your pocket?
Yeah, it's not easy, Joe.
Oh, you put your jersey in your pocket? Is that what you just said?
Why don't you just like hold the jersey or like put it around your neck like it's a towel or something?
Didn't think about it.
That's a good idea.
I mean, you're going through all of this work just to put the jersey away. Also, you can listen again, not to pull rank here, but as a veteran pooper.
Wow. Do you think you've done more than we have?
Yes.
Really?
I'm old.
What about combined?
We're going to go eat Taco Bell, and we'll talk again in 2 weeks.
Okay,
Joe.
fine.
1620 the lettuce boys.
I have never in my life had an issue with getting the back of the shirt soiled during cleanup. I just know how to keep things out of the way. So for me, it's the first option because sometimes there's a little
in your veteran age.
Sometimes especially in my veteran age, there's still some fluid left in the hose when you think you're done, and then you realize,
I didn't winterize properly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you think it's all turned off, and then there's just a little that dribbles out as you're putting the hose away.
And you're like, dang it, why khakis? Why today?
And then it dribbles into the front. That is easier. That is far more difficult to keep out of the way than the shirt tail. I've never had the issue with the shirt tail.
My biggest fear has been the shirt tail. My biggest issue has been the front side. That's where I stand in this situation.
So, I have a follow-up question for one of our listeners or viewers in the stream. They said, who is undoing their belt to go number one?
Who's wearing a belt?
This reminds me.
I understand that there's a viewport, if you will. I don't think I've ever used it.
Whoa, hold on. Whoa.
Wait,
whoa.
what? Huh?
What do you mean? Hold on, go back.
I don't think, a lot of the briefs that I wear don't actually have that as an option anymore. But when they do, I don't use the window.
So you go over the fence?
Yeah, I go over the fence.
I mean, most of the time you go over the fence.
It's interesting. I don't go over the fence.
I always felt that there's more of a risk of getting
over the fence.
Yeah. And that there's more of a risk of getting, again, more leakage if you're if you're using the trap door.
Yeah, Mr. Khakis.
Versus the fence.
Listen, call me Ethan Hunt. I'm doing Mission Impossible stunts in there. Whatever. You guys are just nervous. I choose to accept that mission. You guys are too nervous.
Threading the needle.
Yeah, man. Listen.
I mean,
I'm just Patrick Mahomes in this battle right now.
I knew someone, it was a former producer, this is not Nick.
Thanks.
It's got to be Stibbs.
Who for a while was still doing number one like a child.
Oh, all pants all down?
Where
it's
like shirt all the way like Butters?
I might start doing that.
Exactly, like Butters. Shirt hiked up, pants down to the ankles, standing at the edge of the toilet.
I'll admit, hand up on bachelor parties or at weddings. That's my prank. I do that all the time. I don't know these people.
That's really funny.
You're right. Like I go to like my friend's wedding and all their family's there. Like, listen, they'll never see me again, but you know what they're gonna say at the pie? Just full trowel, like out doing his thing. Can you imagine that?
There are times where I get self-conscious about how high up my shirt might be when I'm standing at the urinal. And then I get in my head about it. It's like, do people think I'm weird for my shirt being up? Is my shirt too high?
The minute you tuck it under your chin, Nick, it's too high. Probably don't do that.
That would be kind of a fun, like, candid camera, punked, deal where you just send your stunt guy in to go to the, the restroom troughs, like at Wrigley Field or RIP Memorial Stadium, and they do shirt hike, pants all the way down, and all you're doing is filming the reaction of people looking at this person going, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, bathrooms and video cameras usually go over very well, John. People really do like that when you film them in their most private moments.
Matthew in the chat says, do it at the troughs at Memorial Stadium.
I think it's a great idea.
I like this idea.
Send out South Stadium the right way. Cheeks and all.
All cheeks, nothing else. See, this is the fun that you can.
That's right. And we didn't even, you guys should be proud. We didn't even talk about any of the Western Nebraska talk that was in chat.
Oh, what was the Western Nebraska
in here? So
Oh, really?
That's for another time. That's for another time.
All right, fine. No geography yet.
We got to talk sports, John.
We will talk sports. We have content coming up. And let's see. Today in content, well, did we see the last of an era? What and say that has people all fired up? And it sucks to be a Dodger minor leaguer. Especially when mascots and or animals are involved.
Oh, no. Oklahoma. A disaster happened in Oklahoma, didn't it?
It did. 1620 The Zone.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Content
that's unsportsmanlike.
Be listening, because at the end of this segment, we're going to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Storm Chasers this weekend.
I like pairs.
It'll be after content.
A follow-up on the news today that Nebraska will not have a jersey patch this season. Quote from Troy Dannon. Quite honestly, there are 130 schools that are on the market for jersey patches, and next year, there'll be 10. Most schools are going to have multi-year deals. I would rather sit and wait. React.
Again, logically, it makes some sense here. I still think one of the things is Nebraska probably had a numbers in their mind, something that was set, probably something that maybe had an NIL component to it. They couldn't find a partner to match that number, so they decided versus signing a deal that was less than the value they think they're worth, they're going to take their chances and hold off another year. The logic makes sense. There will be less programs theoretically on the market, though. I believe right now there's about 24 college programs that have a known jersey patch sponsor. So I would dare say there'll be more schools in the market next year because not more than half will be taken this year.
Yeah, and I think we talked it through at the beginning of the show as well, but finding where your value is comparative to what someone is willing to offer you, I think it's worthwhile for Nebraska to wait this out. Another little interesting tidbit about it we read during the break, a sports reporter from Front Office Sports had tweeted that the Ohio State deal with JP Chase Morgan is actually not through Ohio State, it's through Learfield, which makes it even more interesting and convoluted, and another almost Big Brother-esque moment that's kind of turning up here in college sports.
And because it's a Learfield deal, that would seem to imply that there is an NIL component attached to Ohio State's deal.
Very true.
Tarek Skubal pitched today for Detroit against Baltimore. What did he do? He had a no decision. Will it be his last game in a Tiger uniform before Monday's trade deadline? You make the call.
I would like to think that it is, because there's something about how Skubal, obviously tied to the Dodgers, has, to me, a little bit more ramification. I've seen a lot more just talk about it outside of just his own organization. It seems to be like the players have some input on it too. And with obviously everything that's going on with what could happen in next year's season, if the Dodgers are so front loaded and run away with another title, does that influence anything that happens? Do people want to try to get back to playing baseball so they can beat down the Dodgers, or is there a different way to go about it? I'm just trying to make different narratives in my head to find a way that we can take down these plucky Dodgers.
I think he will stay with Detroit. I don't think there will be an offer great enough. And the Tigers are still within 4 games of a playoff spot. And they're 5.5 games back in the division. I think they would like to move him, knowing that a big free agent deal is coming. And they may not be able to sign him anyway. But I also don't think they want to take pennies on the dollar in terms of prospects. I think they have a price in their head, and if that price is not met, then they'll say, fine, Skubal will stay. We're going to make a push for the playoffs, and maybe we'll get lucky, and maybe we will sign him for next year. But I think Skubal will stay in Detroit.
Okay.
You remember Pat Kraft from such hits as I Fired James Franklin and I Got My Buddy Matt a Big Time Raise. Now the Penn State AD is being lauded for his most recent role in college basketball just isn't a good investment. What do you make of what he said yesterday?
So here was a quote. He did a Q&A with one of the Penn State media, and he was talking about rev share and basketball. And the question was about Penn State and how much they're investing in basketball. And Kraft said, are we at the top? No, we're not spending $20 million on a basketball roster. And I got to be honest, I don't know if there will ever be a point where we would spend $20 million on a basketball roster. It's not a good investment. Let's just call it what it is. I don't think he's wrong in saying, we're not going to spend this kind of money on a basketball roster, but by saying it's not a good investment, what is that telling your fans? What is that telling your coach? What is that telling your players and the people who do support the small number that do Penn State basketball? It says you don't matter. There's a way that you can say it where you don't have to be so blunt to not call it a good investment. That essentially implies that you're just throwing it away and saying, we're playing basketball because we have to.
Since 2006, John, Penn State has finished above 500 6 times. They've only made 2 NCAA tournaments. Again, in dollars and cents, it makes sense, but it's also something, maybe you just keep these thoughts to yourself, Pat, because it's better for you just to say, hey, what if we have a miracle year? We could put more money into a program that might need it. But listen, I don't want to spend the dollars on a team. That sucks. That's what you just said about a team that is already inside of your own program. That's a very tough uphill climb for a coach, especially. And I mean, why would anyone want to go to Penn State if that's the case? You know you're not going to get paid. You know it's going to be a bad team. It's an all-around bad idea.
I mean, look at what Nebraska was able to do. Now, I realize Nebraska has historically had much more support in basketball from a fan perspective than Penn State has had. But all it takes is one really good season, and all of a sudden, people are excited, especially if you have a football product that hasn't been quite what it used to be. You don't want to close your mind and close yourself to the possibility that something good couldn't happen. But then to call it just not a good investment, I can't imagine what it'll be like the next time Pat Kraft has to go out and hire a basketball coach.
There's also no positive spin to that comment, because if they do perform well, it will always tie back to you can't make $20 million.
The Dodgers can do no wrong in baseball. But in the minor leagues, they are prone to strange accidents. In May, they led prospect Kendall George to a knee injury where the bat-retrieving dog got in his way. And this week, AAA Dodger outfielder Alec Thomas had a run-in with the mascot of the Sacramento River Cats.
Big collision. Let's see that one more.
As this was tweeted by one Matt McMaster yesterday, that is a Mount Carmel native from Illinois, Alec Thomas as well. Yeah, it's just very funny. I have no other takes on this other than I would like to see this happen more often. How can we get mascots more in trouble with their teams? That's very funny.
This guy's from Illinois. Well, if he was taller, you would have seen the mascot.
That's true, Nick. Good take.
Or if he was taller, the mascot would have seen him, and then they wouldn't have gotten into an accident.
Mr. Lollipop Guild.
Why can't this happen to the big league Dodgers and give the rest of us a fair chance to win?
The Dodgers have a mascot.
Great argument.
The Dodgers do not have a mascot.
The Rockies have Dinger.
Los Angeles.
I love Dinger.
I don't think so. I mean, the Cubs didn't have a mascot for the longest time, and now they have a mascot with no pants.
Exactly.
They do not have an official team mascot, no, according to Google. Thanks, Google.
Speaking of minor league baseball, our Omaha Storm Chasers have won 10 of their last 11, and Gavin Cross has homered in 6 straight games and is on a 19-game hitting streak. Perhaps I could interest you in Royals night at Warner Park tomorrow with an appearance by Royal legend Willie Wilson.
Wow, speak of the devil. We said we had tickets to give away. We'll be giving away tickets very shortly. Maybe to this, maybe not to this game, but to a different one. I'm looking to see, did they... now, why does the schedule default to January?
That's the start of the year, John. Get with the program.
I wanted to see if they won today because, they were tied when we...
I think they lost.
Did they lose today?
I listened to the information update correctly.
They did. 4-3 to
Dang
St. Paul.
Sad.
I think they tried their hardest, though.
Oh, I know they tried their hardest.
Is it fair to say that loss is on Matt McMaster? I think so.
Probably.
They saw he was in the stands and they say, oh, no.
No, we don't want that guy.
It's going to happen again. This game's moving too quickly for us. We can't handle this.
Last week, it was the Rams. This week, the Buffalo Williams officially unveiled their Nickel City alternate uniforms, which are nickel-colored and feature a helmet.
Oh, it's a helmet.
I heard this take earlier today. It's really tough to mess up red, white, and blue, and somehow Buffalo said, you know what? We're going to do it. Why do NFL teams add so much gray? Detroit does this. Your Rams do this.
The Rams got rid of the gray.
See, the
gray has never been cool. No one has ever picked gray out as a child and been like, my favorite color. Why are we picking gray?
But Austin, it's nickel.
I don't
care.
care.
Color of the nickel. Get it, the Buffalo nickel. I have a few of them.
I actually don't hate the uniform as much because at least, again, the numbers are legible. They're blue numbers outlined in red and white. They look legible. They look okay. It's the helmet that's the worst part.
I don't know what the helmet is. What is that design?
Well, okay, so the regular Buffalo Bills helmet has the leaping buffalo and it has the red slash through it.
It's technically a bison, but yes.
This is the red slash, just the red slash, and it wraps around from one side to the other. It actually meets in the back of the helmet and then goes around to the other side.
Do the wrap around.
That's the worst part of the uniform.
That's bad. That's really bad.
I just don't like the gray. I think it's all bad. Throw it in the trash.
Throw the Bills in the trash.
Whoa, you don't mean that.
I do.
You're AFC East pilled. That's
I'm
why
a
you're
Dolphins
upset.
fan.
You're just upset.
Madden 99 Club. Myles Garrett, Matthew Stafford, JSN, Trey McBride, Jamar Chase, Josh Allen. Who isn't deserving? Who should be? Who isn't? I'm going to just throw out that Josh Allen should not be in the 99 club. If you've never won a Super Bowl, you shouldn't be in 99.
Wow, okay, that's quick. Maybe because of the uniforms, too. First and foremost, as non-Madden guy, 6 players at 99 overall, that's too many.
I agree.
One of those being a Cardinal, already knock him off the list. The other one
I agree.
being Matthew Stafford, who's ancient.
Whoa,
knock him off the list.
Stop! NFL MVP Matthew Stafford to you.
He's
soon to be
old.
2-time Super Bowl champion Matthew Stafford to you, young man.
His shoulder could fall off, and his wife's podcast isn't good, John.
And
knock him down.
And Josh
97.
And Josh Allen just got married, so his ceiling's going to drop.
That is true. That's fair. Now, I would say Jamar Chase. I would put him up there. Myles Garrett, I think, is the most qualified of them all. I think it's one thing we just continue to forget, that JSN is probably one of the best receivers in the NFL because people are terrified to say his name on public radio, and also because he plays in Seattle. I mean, they won the Super Bowl, and he won Offensive MVP, and nobody really knows any of the stats. He was incredible last year.
He was incredible, but I think it's too soon for him to be a 99.
Okay.
I just think it's too soon.
I can hear that argument.
I would argue that Chase is the only receiver deserving of 99. JSN, it was one great year. I think there needed to be another one before we anoint him that status.
Okay.
So I would argue that he and McBride are the two I would leave off the list.
I would stick to 3. I would go Garrett. I would go Jamar Chase, and I would go JSN. I'm good for those 3.
I love all the playoff games that Josh Allen has won with the Bills that warranted that 99 rating.
How many playoff games have you won recently, Nick?
None of my quarterbacks are ranked at 99.
Bang, that's a good argument.
Josh Allen, overrated. Overrated.
What would you do if Malik Willis was a 99 overall quarterback?
I would also question that. I know the Dolphins are, Austin.
I think it's at that point that the Madden franchise would have jumped the shark and people would just say, yeah, I think we're going to go back to playing Atari football.
Don't worry, when Madden 27 or 28, whatever the next year's number is going to be, Bryce Young 99 overall stamp.
Finally, move over, Brian Kelly. You have more company in the CBS Sports College Football booth. Welcome your new college Eagles colleague. College football colleague. Eagles Super Bowl winning coach, Doug Peterson.
It's odd. The guy that...
are you doing a walking impression?
It's
odd.
I wish I could do a good Christopher Walken.
I stuck this.
I like that Doug Peterson... I can't do a good. I just can't do Christopher Walken.
It's not for everyone.
You tried.
The guy won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, and he was around the league for a long time. If CBS was going to use him, they would use him on the NFL.
Yes, where he's well known.
But not only is he going to be in the CBS college booth, but he's going to be working Mountain West games too.
That's right. Get ready to learn Wyoming, Laramie. I mean, what else is out there? Because half those teams moved to the Pac-12. People forget.
is he that bored where he needs this gig? I'd say the same thing for Brian Kelly. Are you that bored? Are you just trying to keep your name out there in front of the tens of people that will watch the CBS Sports Network Mountain West games this year?
Counter argument, maybe those two are so boring, that's why they're working the Mountain West games.
That's it. How can the guy who called the Philly special be boring?
Maybe they're just stoked for North Dakota State, John. You think about that?
That is true. Oh, Brian Kelly in the Fargo Dome? That's going to be elite. Get this guy a scissor lift.
I saw a picture, by the way. They put out the PR release. Doug Peterson looks as comfortable in a suit as Bill Belichick does.
He also had the glossy-eyed look of Tony Romo driving a car. So you got to be very careful about that.
Hey-o. All right, there you go. There is content coming up next. It's What's for Dinner. We will wrap up there was so much we couldn't get to today.
Dang it.
We'll have to do it tomorrow if Matt Rule will let us.
That's a great point, John.
Because Matt Rule will be on
1620 The Zone?
Well, we'll have some of his audio.
Okay, that's
absolutely. 1620 The Zone.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's
tortillas.
When you knock us down, we're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Crust is good on your pizza, not your ass.
I will eat your ass first.
And I think we're going to serve McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King.
And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down.
And I would think that's their favorite food.
I'm ready to hang them up, gut them, skin them, chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. My daughters aren't starving to death. I'll eat the neighbors.
All right, and on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap,
tortillas,
and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you.
Cliff, what are you going to take away as your best memory from playing basketball at Boston College?
Probably just like
tortillas,
going out to eat.
The amount of Burger King propaganda that is being spit out.
It's not propaganda
in this room
if it's true.
Between these two is unlike anything I've seen since the early 80s.
I know. I was going to say, I feel like I'm on a new drug, and it's called the Whopper. I just can't stop thinking about it.
It's a great drug.
Oh, the Whopper, the way they wrap it, the way they talk to you in the drive-thru. God.
Some of the slander being tossed towards poor Ronald McDonald.
Okay,
we haven't talked bad about anybody here. We've just talked pro BK.
What did I say over the break that was not true about that particular burger?
I'm not going to justify and validate your slander with a response.
It's not slander if it's true.
What if we're the Burger Bros tomorrow? If I bring in like junior Whoppers for everybody, little handhelds.
I would eat the crap out of a junior Whoppy.
Celebrate the last day of me on 1620, the zone for the
Whoppy.
week.
Yeah.
Did you just call it a Whoppy?
Yeah.
If you enjoy it,
you know, in
call it
some
a Whoppy?
neighborhoods, you'd be taken out back and probably beaten.
No, that's just an old timer folk. Okay, that's different.
What's for dinner tonight? I don't know, but last night we had spaghetti.
Oh,
and
nice.
a nice
Mamma
salad.
mia.
It was good.
That is good. That's nice.
You know, I'd like a nice salad.
I haven't had spaghetti in such a long time.
By the way, it's the first salad I've had since all the poop lettuce.
Salad.
Down.
Guess who's ready to learn slop bowl again, boys? Double slop! Let's go!
What are you mixing your sweet potatoes with this time, you freak?
Sweet potatoes. We're gonna do the salsa chicken one more time, and then we're gonna use more of that cow. It's rinse and repeat from yesterday, but I am considering putting in this order of gas station pizza because they just sent me a reward link, and I think I'll do it.
Nice. I had a frozen burger last night. We had some of the frozen patties in the freezer. Tonight, I'm on my own, so getting a Whopper.
Would you also like to do gas station pizza with me?
Of course you're doing a Whopper.
Well, if you have a Whopper today, how are you going to have a Whopper tomorrow?
Austin, do not underestimate my capacity to have a Whopper. I will gladly have a Whopper tomorrow.
All right.
I think you need to challenge yourself and go to a different Burger King to see if they can give you the kind of service.
Try my Burger King.
That's kind of out of the way. Like this other one's on my way home.
That's okay. Fine. Whatever. It's fine.
Just hit the one up here on Dodge Street.
Yeah, just get that Whopper and then get a second Whopper and compare the Whoppers at different BKs. That's a tempting offer. He's thinking about it.
Tomorrow it's Nebraska Day, so we'll have plenty of Matt Rule audio to react to.
We'll have Whoppers.
Nice.
Apparently.
John, if you don't eat your Whopper, we're going to have it.
We will split the Whopper. We will Lady and the Tramp that Whopper.
I'll eat your Whopper, John.
Lady and the Tramp of the Whopper?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now he's not going to eat it just to spite us.
I don't even want to see the visual. Have a great Wednesday.
Whopper.
Good night.
Bye.